and then it's easy. You just press the little, yeah, there you go. There you go, mate.
All right.
So,
nice.
and then it's easy.
Cool.
Press the little,
Oh,
yeah, there you go.
hey, what up, everybody? Smokesteve here. Thanks for coming. Just kind of a little new to me, so thanks for coming out. This is hey Natalie, can you hear me? Everything good? I believe it is. Cam is good. Everything is good. Right on. Okay, cool. Yeah, so I'm just here because I didn't want the Saturday nights to end, and I thought people enjoyed it. So what the fuck, let's keep it going. I don't have to run the show or control the, topics. It's just, a time to be here and chat. The Ashley trans model, middle class twat Steve. Yeah, that was interesting. I mean, it was cool for the, look, I did that. Cool. Yeah, it was good for the ride home. She was well-spoken. It wasn't really combative like you thought it might be. It was just a conversation, and they both kind of held back, it seemed like to me, honestly. But it was cool. Hey, we got somebody to add on here.
Hold up.
Right
1 second.
Oh,
wait.
Sorry.
Fine. Oh, yeah. I'm like, no, 1 second. But you're like, yeah, cool.
Sorry about that, Natalie.
That's fine. You'll learn the cues. You'll learn the cues soon. Like,
Wait, yeah, all right. Would you need your head thing, maybe? Sorry.
Yeah, I'm not completely set up.
Gotcha. All right. You want me to kill you for a minute?
No, I'm good, bro. How's it going, man? How you doing? I'm really glad. I'm really happy to see someone else, bless up, Hayden Hewitt.
Yeah, I'm well. Thank you. Yeah, Hayden's the man. Yeah, I'm good. So it's cool to keep the thing rolling, Blind Fury. There's a lot of protests. Yeah, apparently somebody was killed in Atlanta, Georgia today by the police, and I don't know the full story yet, but yeah, shit's just getting very intense over here. So, it is what it is. There's small protests in my town, pretty much all white people doing Black Lives Matter protests, which is great, And we have one guy walking in front of the police station with the sign that says, I support LEO. So,
ELO, as in electronic, like that band that was in the 80s? No?
LEO, law enforcement officers. Sorry.
Oh, okay. No, that's fine.
Yeah. What are you drinking there, Natalie?
Well, my bestie calls it Ziggy Wiggy, but I do believe it's pronounced Zivjest. So
Nice.
It's like, wait, ZYWIEC.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What is that? Is like what
beer.
Country? Yeah, right on. Cool.
That's all you need.
Yeah,
But I do have a Haken t-shirt,
even
though their most recent albums have been very shit. But that's good.
Yeah. Where's the pipe and bud today? Right here, my man. Right in front of me. As always.
I have a tiny.
Funny. I got a new condenser mic I got on top of the laptop here. Hope it's not picking up too much room noise, fans and shit, but hopefully it's better than the headphone microphone.
Yeah, no, you sound quite like, in the room as most radio people put it.
Okay.
I obviously have this, it's a strange thing to play with, I have a separate mic that I do my radio show on, but I have to do a lot of post edit on to make sure it sounds, proper. But yeah, it's weird. It's weird. I think it's like, I don't even think half the time it's like the mic, I think it's environmental. If you have a box room, literally, no sound coming in, everything else is bouncing around. Yeah.
Thank you, Derek. Just working into it, man. It's been what, 5 minutes, 7 minutes? Come
Yes!
on
7 minutes wins.
Yeah. Yeah, anyone who wants to come on, please feel free. Whatever you want, you know, it's all good. Get on with Smokesteve. Yeah, cool. Right on. So is there a lot of shit going on over there with you guys, protest-wise, related to...
Nah, not at all.
This...
It's all... I'm taking the piss. No,
not at all.
They're ripping church
pretty damn serious here.
They're ripping down all kinds of sorts of stuffs and fucking whatever. But you know what? I mean, you can't rewrite history. Number one,
right?
That's what I say. You know what I mean? And that's what these people say. Richie Allen, he made a very good point. If you have something bad to say against these people, they did a lot of good things for this country or that movement or this movement, just change their plaque. Yes, he was good for this, but he's a bit of a racist. Or he had 200 or 300 slaves. Like, I know no one's going to fucking like it, but...
Yeah, I mean, when the normal...
It's kind of spilled over to here for no reason, to be honest, because we don't have that problem over here. Okay, I'm going to get trashed, but we kind of do, but not as bad as in the US, maybe because you have a bigger population. Of course, it's going to look like it's even worse, but we don't have the intensity, that's the word, of that same fucking situation that you guys have over there. But yet at the same time, it's being inflated. That's the word. You know.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, I mean, when you have the normality of 200 years ago that the accepted way of living was one way, and it was completely accepted and fine to everybody, obviously, except for the slaves at the time. So, you know, it's a dicey situation because the guys who owned them didn't necessarily look at it as doing something wrong. I guess that you could say that was a fault of theirs for sure. And now people are really bullshit about the whole thing. And it's crazy how one event can set off the entire world. Obviously, that happened with the fucking bat thing too, and the COVID. And now one guy gets killed by a cop very unjustly, and it's fucking blowing everything up. You know, it's nuts, crazy.
No, it's completely crazy. What the fuck? Who is it? Joe, what's his name? That does the podcast. JRE, Joe Rogan. He made a very funny, ironic statement in that the one thing that killed this guy, you know, for this movement, putting his knee down, was the one thing that was, you know, making a statement earlier on. Putting your knee down, like taking a knee. MBFB. Yeah,
and the football players all took a knee during the anthem, and then he killed them by taking a knee on his neck.
By taking a knee, exactly, man.
Yeah,
for, what was it? 8 minutes and 46 seconds. Now, the only reason why I know those numbers is because I just recently, not yesterday, day before, I watched the Dave Chappelle. I fucking love long time Dave Chappelle.
He's the man.
He really is. He is my genuine alive comedian of all time. Alive. I'm not gonna say of all time, dead or alive. But I, you know, as many of us, you know, we were tuning in. Oh, he's doing a new bit. Yeah, no, those what was it, 27 minutes of his new show? Fucking awkward as fuck, and funny as fuck. But Dave Chappelle told it as it fucking is, as he always does. You can't go wrong with that. You really can't. And I'm sorry, man. We are two white bitches talking about this. So there's going to be many people listening to this going like, what do they know?
This is true. Yeah.
I think.
What do we know?
What do we know, man? We have white privilege, right? Yeah. I grew up with nothing. I'm sure you grew up with nothing. This is what I drink. You know? Yeah,
I hear you. Working class, you know, all the way. Best friend floats at the bottom of a glass, you know. That's the truth right there, you know. And you know, I grew up in an area that is considered, or at the time was a racist, very racist type of community on both sides, because there was like, it's Massachusetts. There was a thing called busing in the 70s where they were busing inner city kids to suburban schools, and there was like crazy riots. Like people were losing their shit about it because the people in the suburban schools didn't want these inner city kids coming in what they thought was bringing the grade of student down. It's just nuts, man. And
Really?
that carried on for like 20 years. There was just a lot of tension in growing up in the areas of South Boston, Dorchester, Boston. Is just a lot of turmoil. And like I said, it went both ways, man. People like the black and Hispanic kids hated the white kids as equally. Like it was a back and forth type of thing. I kind of, as I always have in life, I had a lot of black friends. I had a lot of white friends. But, you know, you certainly saw it. Where I went to school, it was a lot of tough motherfuckers. And it was just, you know, a lot of tough people. It was just the way it was back then. And this was only in the early 90s. So really not that long ago.
Yeah, no, I completely agree, man. It's weird because I grew up in my family. We kind of grew up in like 2 or 3 different areas of the same area, if that kind of makes sense. And there was a few, yeah, you know, non-white families. Sorry, I realised my glasses are reflecting.
That's all right. Hey, what's up, Jerry?
Hey, Jerry, how's it going?
How you doing?
Good.
You guys hear me?
Yeah.
Bit
Totally.
quiet.
A little quiet.
Can you hear me?
What?
What's going?
I think your flag is louder than you are. Just a little bit, just a tiny bit, man.
Let me
A
check.
little bit quiet.
How about now?
Yeah, we can hear you, man. Yeah.
Yeah. I can hear you.
Right.
How about
We
now?
can hear you. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, good.
Yep.
Oh no! Sorry.
All right.
Sorry.
Anyway,
That's Benedict.
Yeah.
how is everyone?
Everyone, I'm well.
Everyone?
Yeah.
Which one?
How is everyone?
We're good. Thank you very much, Jerry. How are you doing, man?
I'm doing good.
Good.
I'm doing good.
It's good. It's good. Oh, I don't mean to flip that way. There is a reason why some of you might noticed that I'm not wearing a bandana right now. You know why? Because I've done my fucking roots. Yeah.
For you.
Just saying.
Nice.
No one's noticed on the fucking chat, but you know what? They might call me a pirate every other fucking week, but this week, not fucking said a word. Cunts. So, yeah, no, cunts.
Looks good.
Dankeschön.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I always rock the red.
Mm-hmm.
So the bandana is only for the roots. Well, actually, no. Okay, the quick lady hair time. No, it's not only just for the roots. There are certain times where I have to put my hair through certain treatment phases about every 3 or 4 weeks, where I have to put certain things in my hair for like 2 or 3 days, and therefore I should wrap it up. You know, should do these things. What was her name? Nat Lynch? No, it wasn't. It was Buckcorp. Yeah. I don't know enough to make my own blog about it, but you can look it up. Know what I'm saying?
Right on. Probably not a lot of people here dye their hair. Jerry, do you? Hello. Oh shit.
Shaved my head. I shaved my head in self-defense because there's nothing left.
I hear you, man. Yeah. no sense. I'll be losing my hair probably within 8 years, so I'm growing it out one last time. Fuck it. I'm gonna
You should, man. You should.
make a run at it.
I don't think it's like a one last time thing. I mean, there's a few things you can do naturally to like get that shit back. You know what I mean? Genuinely. I would not advise to go to, infowars.com. Get that, info source, all that kind of fucking shit. But there might be something, that you can put in your hair every week, every day. Yeah.
That's my wife.
Yeah, man bun. Well, he has to build it up, babe.
Yeah.
And you know what? If that is your actual wife, she should be doing this to your hair every day.
Massaging my scalp. Huh.
Yes. Because you know what? It brings up the willingness, it makes it fucking grow because you're activating the cells.
Blood vessels. Yeah, I hear you.
All that shit.
Very good.
A few fucking oils,
Yep.
Almond oil is very good. Coconut oil is very good. I can see my hair is very 80s right now. I'm going to sort that fucking out.
Graham, if you want to come on, bro, you're more than welcome to. It's not like this is the most riveting fucking show ever. So, I mean, don't feel
come
like...
on. Make it riveting. What the fuck is up?
It'll
What is
get
up?
there. Get there. It's building steam, We're rolling.
What is up? Apart from your fucking pipe. I'm so envious of you and your pipe.
Why is it a fact that you can't score weed, or you're not allowed to smoke weed? I mean, I know it's illegal, but
of course it's always fucking been illegal over here, but I control myself now. As in, if I go to my friend's house and she has some, then I have some with her because she has some. Maybe once every 2 months.
Right.
Maybe. And I'm like, oh, can I get like a 10 bag, basically?
Dime bag. Yeah.
Yeah.
Class.
No, not a dime bag. Not over here.
That you don't call them that.
No, but I'm talking on behalf of someone that I used to go through fucking 40 or 50 pounds worth, English pounds, like money's worth of weed every single day.
That's a lot of dope.
It fucking is.
I would imagine that is that what, like, probably 4 or 5 grams for that much. I don't know what you guys pay over there. More
in fact.
Maybe
I'll probably go in halves with back in them days I would go halves of like on a fucking ounce, and it'd be good for a week until the next week.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I don't smoke that much. You guys probably think I smoke a shitload, but I smoke when I'm on. I smoke a lot when I'm on here. That's the thing.
Yeah.
I don't smoke all day. I'm like fucking refinishing my garage, turning it into an interior room.
Well,
I got so much shit. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly, man. This is the thing. I'm very prone to addiction, so this is fine. I always thought that I would never quit alcohol and cigarettes. I thought I would always do. Oh, sorry, I'm lying. I always thought I would quit alcohol and cigarettes, but I would never quit weed. Weirdly enough, weed just kind of weirdly dropped out of my life. Just genuinely, it just dropped out of my life. And all of a sudden I was like, oh, I haven't picked up a bag. I haven't done this or that or the other, And now I suck. And my life is shit.
Yeah, I mean, there's been some famous strains that originated in the UK. The Brightside cheese, I believe, was one, or it's definitely got its own little weed culture. Royal Queen Seeds is a great UK company. There's plenty of a weed society over there, as far as I know. So we have another person who wants to come on here.
Yes.
Hey,
Hello. How nice to see you all again.
Hey.
I'm not absolutely mortal this time, so you're probably going to get a decent conversation out of me.
Yeah, that's what I thought, but I'm getting slowly bottled. So
Go for it.
we will
Go
see
for it,
how
Abby.
it fucking
Lovely
goes.
to see you
babe.
without the bandana.
Well, like I just said, I've done my roots.
Do you know what? I didn't do mine. I'm frightened of doing it wrong since the hairdressers are closed, and I'm frightened of getting the wrong colour.
No, the funny thing is, babe, one, please look me up. I can talk you through this, like, genuinely. Wait, did I just click on this? I've always done my own hair, but during this fucking time, I was like, you know what? I want to give my hair a fucking rest.
Yeah.
I don't have to go to the office. I don't have to go to a site. I don't have to, like, fucking see people. And the only people I have to see is Smokesteve and Jerry. You know what I mean? And fucking
Fair play, girl. Fair play.
Aiden Hero. And I can
But
get
it
with
has-
a fucking bandana. You know.
It has been. It's been awful because I've got hair like feathers anyway, so it just seems to just like ugh. Well, it's been awful anyway. I just want to see a hairdresser again and get a decent colour on. But if you can talk me through it, darling, give me your number and talk me through it.
No, babe. I mean, you know my name, right? You know my name.
Natalie, yeah. Yeah.
And my second name.
No.
Stacy. Right?
Don't say it online. Don't say it online. She can personal message me.
No, you can. It's my name is Natalie Stacy.
Yeah.
It's like
Okay.
two first names because my mother, couldn't decide between one or two or three, in fact.
So
but
that's
yeah.
not your middle name. You actually have two first names.
Yeah, I do. I'm the biggest cunt on the planet.
Whoa! She just
My
wasn't
auntie,
me.
actually.
That was not me. I did not fucking do that.
Where'd she go? Where'd she go?
I have no idea. I didn't touch anything. Okay,
she's going
cool.
to go and get me some hair dye instructions, I think.
Okay, she looks like she's not
see
happy.
Side.
Let's see here.
I'm not fucking happy.
There you go, darling.
I totally clicked on. I don't even know what I clicked on.
Right.
My auntie is actually called Jill Haley. After Bill Haley in the comments. Jill Haley, though. Jill Haley.
Oh, I know
She
her.
called herself Haley. You can't blame her, can you? Jill's a bit of a boring name.
Bucks.
It's true, but babe, anytime.
Well, you can talk me through the hair dyeing process. The grey roots
Easily.
are coming through.
100%. And that's the
Hey,
thing.
at least I'm not wearing a silk hat.
People are so scared of like doing their own shit on their own hair or their own eyebrows or their own eyelashes or
I know.
their own fucking nipples and all the rest of it.
Their
There's
own
a
nipples.
certain
What do you do with your nipples?
shave. No. Just watch them.
Can I just ask everyone if they've been watching the feeds all today about all of the stuff that's been going on? Have you been watching all the feeds coming in from all of the different places?
Not me. I etched my garage floor for epoxy, so I'm out of the loop. What's going on, PB? Tell us.
I've been watching it mainly coming in from Newcastle, which look quite violent at times. And do you not think that people have been baited so much that they're actually coming out and they're standing against these people that don't have any idea? I was watching a protest in Southampton. They were all bloody white. They were all white people stood there and they were giving speeches about Black Lives Matter. And someone shouted in the background, "All lives matter." And they all jumped on him and they were all white people.
What the
and I was
fucking
thinking,
frick?
what the fuck is going on?
Well, the actual frick.
Violence
You know
is
what, guys?
not the answer here. That's for sure. Go ahead.
I don't want to be a, I'm going to say a word that I'm not allowed to. I don't want to be a gay, but Hayden Hewitt, our Lord and Master. Can we do this?
Hail Hayden.
Hail Hayden.
Oh, God.
Hail Hayden. He fucking
All right,
put
finish your sentence. What is it? Let's go.
No, what's wrong? No, nothing. He put up a beautifully, as always, worded blog a couple of days ago, like yesterday.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Addressing everything, as he always does.
Click on the link below your comment. OPCW Guta.
Guta. No, you know what, man? You need to read Hayden Hewitt's link. You need
he's
to
been.
Is it on Twitter?
His
Because I've
little
lost
blog.
my
Yes,
Twitter
it is.
account because of a few personal things that I put on.
I think it's his literal Hayden Hewitt. Yeah, I know. I Google him a lot. Okay, fine. .com.
He's been writing some decent articles on triggering.tv. That's a website he controls, owns.
I know nothing about hair. I'm sorry. There's nothing I can do.
That's all right. Hey, we have someone else who's been waiting for a bit here.
Is it Hayden Hewitt?
No, it's a person who
have a nice evening, guys. Sorry.
It's a person
don't go, Natalie. I need you for my hair.
Came out last week under a different name, and it looks like she's back to her original name.
Oh, is it?
EU Watch. EU Watch. Highly controversial.
Hey,
we love controversial.
Hi, EU. How are you?
Fine, thanks. And you? Nice
I'm well. Are you having a cocktail at the pub tonight, my darling?
No, it's only beer. Cheers.
Just beer.
Only a beer. Cheers. Cheers. Come on, guys. Cheers. All of us. Cheers.
Very
Cheers.
Nice.
Cheers.
Do we have any Polish
clink,
one?
Clink, clink, clink,
Yes.
clink, clink. Cheers.
Right on.
Look at this pussy.
Very cool.
Smokesteve.
Come on, Lenny, you.
You're
Let's see what
hosting a
you've got
show
to say.
and you can't even go clink to the rest of your fucking.
I held my can up. Well, I had to say clink. I didn't
Oh wait,
say
sorry. Well, yes, you should. Second of all, what is that? Bud Light.
Yeah, man. You say we go through this every week. Oh, that's for pussies. I know it's for pussies. Obviously, I'm a pussy because I drink a ton of Bud Light. So guilty as charged.
Oh, but Hayden still put you on the bill. No, that's fine. You know what? If Hayden gave you the gold star, that's fine.
He didn't. I just said, hey, yo, if this thing's going to end, I'll fucking keep it alive, Fuck it. And he was like, all right, yeah, sounds great. And I fucking am clueless. But literally, then this week, I'm like, I'm using my fucking phone for everything. I'm gaming on my phone. I'm doing like videos, YouTube.
Whoa, hold up. You're gaming on your phone?
Yeah. So
what the fuck are you playing on your phone?
I'm addicted to Call of Duty mobile.
On your phone?
Yes.
Man, you're not even worth the fucking air that you're breathing in and out right now.
Oh yeah.
I'm not even fucking joking. You're gaming on your phone.
Yeah.
Hayden. Look, I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, Jerry, guys. This person is not worth. No.
So listen, this week I went out and bought.
I'm going to send some messages to Hayden Hewitt.
Because of this track and trace. Because of this, can I just say this? Because of this track and trace app, I actually got rid of my smartphone, and I have put my phone, my SIM card, in an old phone. I mean, you might call it being paranoid, but because of this new track and trace app, right? I just don't believe in it. I just think that there's something more sinister involved in it. So what I've done is I've put my SIM card in an old phone, and I've thought, well, if I go out anyway, I'll just leave my phone at home. I'm not, I know it sounds stupid. I know it sounds absolutely ridiculous. But you know what? I don't trust for someone to say, you know what, you've been quarantined for 14 days.
Man. Okay, so guys, out of all of you, it's not a competition. Who has been in the longest fucking quarantine? Come on. I've been like early March. I think the 13th of March. Yeah.
23rd of March, I think, was for GB.
Well,
PB.
Yeah, I was put in because by my head office and everything else. But yeah, 13th of March, 14th, second week of March. You guys? Oh wait, sorry. You guys?
I'm working still 5 days a week, so
I'm working, but you know what I mean. Like, when was you in fucking lockdown, man? You know what I mean?
I would say I'm out of lockdown now. We can always walk from our house and get the fuck outside, but yeah, there's.
Oh, that's nice.
But there's no fucking normality to it. But things are opening back up here, so we're like, I don't know about you guys, but here in my state at least, restaurants are open for outdoor seating only.
I
can't hear anything for your states. Out seating only.
Right, see, you've got outdoor seating. See, we haven't got any of that. All I live in northeast England. Obviously, you can probably tell by the accent. All of our shops, all of our shops are shut, apart from essential grocery stores. Okay, we're allowed to go out. We're allowed to liaise with our family, but not inside. We are allowed to invite them into our garden as long as we keep a 2-meter distance from them, along with people that we agree that are in our bubble.
Yep.
Okay. So that's how it is. So I haven't seen my mum or my gran, who are really serious about all of this lockdown stuff. My husband has his mum that's in absolute dire straits. She had a couple of strokes. She's at home having home care. And he cannot see her apart from to pop his head around the door and say, look, Mum, I've brought you some shopping. I'm going to leave it at the door. So we're still in that state now, and that has been since the 23rd of March.
What can you say? What can you fucking say? I'm sorry. Smokesteve, I'm going to quickly take over. Fuck the fucking system. Oh, wait. Yeah, there's my fucking... Fuck the fucking system. There are certain circumstances, even fucking still, you have to take the precedent. You have to make the exception.
I think so.
What the hell is she talking about?
No. What fucking hell is she talking about? What she was just fucking talking about?
You are.
I see. Okay.
So what's up, EU Watch? What's going on there in your place? Like, is things blowing up like it is?
No, actually, they removed most of these limitations. You just need a mask in some shops. That's it. But otherwise,
how about protests, statues coming down, shit like that?
Black Lives Matter. Yes, we had that. Like for an entire week.
Yeah.
Like people who protested about it, but I don't know. I don't really care about it. I mean, we have a lot of black people and mulatto people. Also, we have an American base nearby, and of course, there were contacts between soldiers and locals and so on. We have a certain population who cares about it, but I'm not among them. And they blocked the city streets. You could not go shopping. It was a bit annoying, yeah. But they didn't loot shops or destroy anything, like in the US. That's horrible, yeah.
It's totally. A bunch of people stole all these iPads and iPhones from an Apple store, and the fucking things all had on the screen and said, "You're being traced right now. You can't unlock this phone, and the police are coming." Because Apple had that. Obviously, you can't. It's like stealing lottery tickets. They just make those inactive, so you can't cash them in. It's a simple, thing, but it's nuts. Nuts. Hey, Jerry, what's up, man? Are you the guy with the longer name? I don't want to say it. Like is it you, the dude?
The American Rebellion? Yes.
Yes. All right. I thought it was you.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
Bless up.
Cool. Right on, brother. Yeah. Well, what's it like where you are? Things blowing up?
I got my rebel flag behind me. Not where I'm at. I live out in the middle of nowhere, and I live there for a reason, because I don't like people.
Right.
I've been social distancing since my early 20s.
There you go.
So, I mean, we have down South Florida, they've been rioting, in Jacksonville and, Orlando, they riot, and, it's all bullshit. It has nothing to do with a dead guy. Bunch of kids want to go out there, get a lot of excitement, have big fun, and they think they're going to make change. It's not how you do it.
Well, as I said, I live in Northern England, and even the places that haven't been specifically hit with people that are vandalising statues, which you've got quite a lot of, you've seen all of the veterans from around the area that have been coming into even obscure parts.
Did she freeze up on us?
Can you still hear me?
We can hear you, but
yes,
your video,
everyone,
yeah.
Your video is frozen.
But I hear you. I hear the voice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
where I live,
like I said,
where I live, everybody.
PB, I'm gonna X you out, so just come back live, and maybe that'll bring your video back.
I'm here.
Okay.
I'm here. Back. Even though it isn't places that have been targeted specifically, the small towns and villages have all been guarding the statues. Like all of the veterans have been coming out and standing around the statues in kind of a ring and saying that nobody's taken down our statues. Okay. Which, to be honest, is ridiculous in a lot of ways, because you had one statue coming down, which seems to have gone absolutely viral. So now everyone thinks that everyone's coming for the history and the statues, which has all been part of a as far as I'm concerned, a media build-up and sort of a fear factor thing, which is just like the coronavirus, which is what I think is going on. So we've had like all of these veterans coming out, standing around the statues, even if they're in obscure places. Like I said, you are not touching our glorious dead statues, our memorials, things like that.
Right.
Because of the stuff that have been shown on mainstream media, basically, I think has been the main issue. And then you had Sadiq Khan come on and say, nobody come down to the protests in London because, this is ridiculous and all of this, which in my mind, I thought inflamed things. I don't know what you guys think. Sadiq Khan is the mayor of London, and he started going on and saying that he would take a knee for Black Lives Matter, and everyone else could go and fuck themselves, basically. Which was a bit of a red rag to a bull, which kind of just inflamed the flames of passion for the country.
Yeah, I mean, the governor here in Massachusetts is endorsing people to protests. And so they're protesting like 10, 12,000 people fucking tight together. And they're walking past bars that hold maybe 40 to 50 people. And the bars are mandated closed by the government. And the fucking protesters are right in front of them. And they're all, if the COVID's going to spread, it's going to spread in the damn protests, not in the bars, But he can't say don't protest. That would be political suicide. So he basically has to,
because Black Lives Matter and no other lives do.
I wasn't necessarily hinting at that, but yeah, they have to basically, they got to just pander to everybody. And right now it's pander fest.
We're pandering to them, aren't we? We are pandering to them. If we're all honest, we are pandering to them. Not
to them in particular. That's just the job of any person in government. Government does that.
We're pandering to what's behind it, I think.
Not their job. It's not their job.
That's what they do.
It's not their job to pander to anyone.
That's what they do.
It may be what they do. It ain't their fucking job.
No, it's not their job. I agree with you there. That's what they do
Their
to
fucking
keep their
job is to
job.
put this shit down and stop it, because there's people losing their livelihoods. There's people losing all kinds of stuff. People losing their lives. Nobody cares about the black ex-cop in St. Louis who was guarding a damn pawn shop, and he got shot by another black.
I know that. That was a tragedy, man.
And we got Seattle took over. Send in the freaking Marines, put this crap down hard, and then maybe people will learn. We have people vandalizing everything, getting caught, getting arrested, and the DA is letting them go. It's ridiculous.
Crazy. It is.
We have had over here.
It is
every single politician has gone and said every single problem that is coming is from the far right. However, last weekend in London, there was not one policeman to be seen in sight when they were tearing down statues. There were graffitiing everywhere. 30 of our police officers were badly injured. There was a woman police officer that was thrown off a horse that punctured a lung and broke ribs and things like that. But you know what? All that was on in the media, despite what we'd seen, like literally live, watching the live streams, was the Black Lives Matter people and the Antifa were causing that much bother, and there was nobody from what you would say the far right that were there last weekend. It was all the Black Lives Matter people, and they literally caused havoc, right? But on the television this week, on the Tell-Live-Vision, all it was well, there were mainly peaceful protests. There was nothing that happened really. It was mainly peaceful protests. This weekend, because people fought back a little bit because they'd got so annoyed by the propaganda that was on television, right? So they all went down there, and we literally had all of the old veterans, and there were literally old men with the caps on, with the berets on from previous service. And they all marched down there, and they all stood guard around the statues. And I was watching all the live feeds, and they were told to leave by the police or they would be arrested within an hour, right? And the Black Lives Matter people and the Antifa people were left to go and do what they wanted to do, which was exactly the same as the weekend before, which left me absolutely mystified, to be honest.
Yeah. It's crazy shit. Fucking crazy.
So I don't know if anyone else had a similar experience watching what was going on in their hometowns, or
it's always according to the propaganda arm, which is the mainstream media. It's always the far right. Meanwhile, the far right isn't out there rioting. The far right isn't out there, tearing up places and shooting people in the street. And the far right is not the ones that are throwing rocks at the police. It's never the far right. It's the far left. Period. End of discussion. Yeah, sure. But the mainstream media wants you to believe otherwise. The Democrats over here want you to believe otherwise. And it's simply put, not true. And they're all doing this now because they hate Trump and they want him out of office. And it's not going to work. Just like the Russia thing didn't work. And whatever else they have tried on him has not worked. They tried to impeach him. Did not work. Because they don't have a leg to stand on. Because everything they say is a lie. It's that simple. And these morons in the street believe it all. When in reality, it's not true.
You know what? I have people like me mother who has isolated herself, right, with my gran. Okay? Gran's very old. And my mum has isolated herself, and she was saying to me, can you get me some face masks, and can you drop them down just outside the door and things like that, which obviously everything she requests, obviously I'll do. She's my mum and it's my gran. And I've been doing all this, and I feel like giving them both a slap and saying, for God's sake, will you stop watching BBC One? Will you stop watching the mainstream television? And will you stop letting them take over every single piece of what's going on, because all that's in the heads at the minute is fear, 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 fear.
Yeah, That's
All
a
right, guys, listen.
true
I gotta
subject.
go. I'm sorry. I have a show I gotta do, so I will talk with you all next time. It's been a pleasure to be on.
Been a pleasure, Jerry.
Apparently, at some point in the future, we're going to be doing a radio show on trigger warning. I'm not sure exactly when that's going to happen. I haven't heard from Hayden in a few days, but I look forward to that. So we'll be talking to y'all. It's usually pretty lively. So anyway, you guys have a great night and enjoy yourselves.
Cheers. Bye. All the best. Bye.
Bye, Jerry.
See you, man. Well, that was
So
good
come on,
to have
you.
him on.
You've been pretty quiet. Let's get a little bit of your stuff.
Yes. I was quiet because other people are talking. I don't want to interfere. Can you hear me? I have a microphone. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Give us your opinion from your side of the world.
Opinion? What do you want to hear? What?
Well, what's been happening?
Here. I don't know. Like, if you want to know, generally, we have a lot of migration from Muslim countries, which is very bad.
Okay, now let's ease up on that.
But this is, I think, a general trend everywhere. Otherwise, not much, right? I mean, we don't have these violent protests. We don't have that many weapons in the streets like the US and so on. So it's less dramatic, right?
Can you own like hunting rifles and shit like that in Germany? That's it? Maybe shotguns, hunting rifles, that sort of thing?
I don't know. My father, for example, he's from Bulgaria. He was 2 years in the army there.
I'm saying, like, you're in Germany, right?
Yes, I'm in Germany, Stuttgart, West Germany.
What are the gun laws? Can you own a gun?
Yes, we can, I think. I have not informed myself too much. There are a lot of hunters, as you said, yes. And some people have also some other guns, but it's not like in the US where you can go to a shop and buy whatever you like, right? I mean, I think in the US it's easier to get something. You can order online, I think, and so on. Here you can't. Cool. I think that if you have a proper license, you can buy guns or smaller handguns and something like that, but I've never tried or thought about that for now.
Cool.
Oh God, you wouldn't be allowed handguns in this country. Handguns are absolutely banned.
Other people might be, but I don't think so. You have to make a psychological test, right? And so on. It's quite a long process.
I doubt I would pass that.
What? Excuse me?
I said I doubt I would pass that.
Oh, thank you. Very nice. I don't know. I have never tried.
Right on.
But there are many hunters and so on.
In the UK, you guys had some terrible shootings, I guess, mass shootings back in the 80s, 90s, right? Hungerford, was that the name of one of them?
We had Dunblane, that was the main thing. The shooting at Dunblane, which was a school. It was a primary school in Scotland. I believe it was in the early 90s. And that pretty much took guns off us completely.
Okay.
Apart from very rarely, if you were a farmer, you could get a shotgun. You could possibly get a gun for a license, but you had to have a really good excuse for it. It's nothing like America.
Right. I think there was. What was the Hungerford? Was there something major that happened there?
The Hungerford massacre. There was the Hungerford massacre as well, and that was followed on by the Dunblane shooting, was where a load of kids got shot in a school in Scotland.
I see. Okay.
That was the final nail in the coffin.
Right.
I believe. Pardon the pun. The final nail in the coffin.
Understood.
This guy went into a school and shot loads of sort of primary school children.
Mm-hmm.
And it was quite horrific, and that was the catalyst for taking guns off us, really. In general, you need to be fairly. Oh God, I don't know what you would need to get a gun these days in this country.
Yeah, I know that you can, but
but it's like you must have to jump through hoops.
It probably takes a shitload of paperwork and money and training and who knows what else. But I know in Australia they had, like, I think it was called the Port Arthur shooting a long time ago, maybe 20 years, something like that. And pretty much that was a huge mass shooting, and that is what was the catalyst for them to get rid of guns. But I mean, obviously, you guys know in the United States, like, I could rattle off so many fucking mass shootings right now, but yet I still do believe that we should have our Second Amendment rights. So
I absolutely agree with that. I do. I mean, your Second Amendment rights was always to be as if your government went rogue on you, and you had actually the ability to be able to overthrow that government. I think that was the main thing about your Second Amendment rights. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, that is correct. That's in there. So I mean, it's in the Constitution. It was important. So I agree with it. Now, that being said, there needs to be something about the mental health and the guns, because there's seems to be some mentally defective people who can get their hands on some fucking weapons that can lay people out, you know. And then the other scary thing is there's completely normal guys, like the guy who did the shooting in Las Vegas. He killed like 50-something people.
That was really strange to me.
He was bringing fucking duffel bags, hockey bags, they call them, huge bags full of automatic rifles. He had the bump stocks, which basically pushes your finger back and forward almost mechanically to press the trigger at a higher rate of speed. But so it's still a single action gun, but with this little action.
You know what? There's no way in the world that guy could have brought all of those guns into a casino.
I know you say that, but they have the video, and I don't know. The fucking guys literally recalled bringing the bags up with him, the bellhops or whatever you want to call them. He gambled for like a week, 5 days, I think. He was dropping like 30 G's a day. And then the concert happened outside, country concert. And he just fucking went crazy and opened fire.
Maybe he just didn't like the music.
Yeah. That was dark humor. But anyways, yeah.
It was a little bit dark. Sorry about that. Yeah.
It's all right.
No disrespect to the people that lost people in that tragedy.
Right. Yeah, seriously.
You know what I
mean? Absolutely hell on earth for the people that were there. I mean, the dude had an elevated position pointing down at a crowd in the open, zero cover. I mean, fuck. It's crazy.
Do you know what? There was just something a bit strange about it all. I mean, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I really am not. But there was just something that just didn't ring true about it.
Well, oftentimes when you can't think of when a person's mind can't conceive of somebody actually going through with something like this, it does seem that it's not possible. But really, a motivated person in the right position can do a lot of damage if they really do it, plan it correctly. I mean, you could fuck shit up in this country. That's a bit of the scary thing, but you can also defend yourself if somebody goes nuts, which maybe gives you a chance. I don't know. Nobody in that crowd had a fucking AR-15 or any suitable rifle or anything to return fire at that distance. So it was just, and of course at the entrances, they obviously check for weapons. So he knew that everyone in the audience was unarmed. You can't bring a fucking gun into a concert. They'll take your pocket knife, it's very strict about that.
Yeah, of course they will.
So the guy obviously knew he was going to, kill a shitload of people. Killed himself in the end.
What happened to him? Did he die?
He killed himself. As the police officers were breaching the room, basically they kicked the door open, and at that moment he shot himself, I think through the bottom of the chin.
Because I like that the US executes criminals, right? Because here in Germany, I can say the law is a joke, right? I mean, no one's afraid. Our prisons are like hotels, right? They can watch movies, work out, whatever. No one is afraid of anything. So here you can, as I said, you don't need guns. You can kill people as you want because there's no punishment. Life sentence means 20 years and you get out. If I kill like 10 people, I get out in 20 years, right? This is nothing. So we can learn from the US in that respect. To really kill criminals. My
grandfather was held prisoner of war by Germany 1944, 45. He was a nose gunner on a B-17 that got shot down.
Okay.
And basically, like, the crew all survived. It's an unbelievable story of how he actually survived, but the biggest fear was that if they got caught by the villagers would just try to kill them. But if they got caught by the Nazi soldiers, they would take them prisoner, and that's what happened. He got taken prisoner. He died a long time ago, but he had a lot of stories about it, and he was in a book. It was it's pretty interesting to have that tie into history, you know.
Okay, but I want to say not everyone was a Nazi, right? This was the Wehrmacht, our army. Not everyone was a Nazi, a believer,
that's
right?
Fine.
They had to fight.
Right, I understand.
Right? So this ideology was not shared by everyone.
Do you not think sometimes a little bit what's happening now is a little bit what happened in Germany when people got a little bit brainwashed into thinking that everyone was against?
I don't know. As I said, I am half German and half Bulgarian. I'm not really.
No. I'm just saying. Honestly, I was not calling you at all. What I was saying is the way the world is going at the moment, and the way everyone seems to have been brainwashed. Do you not think it's going the same way?
I don't think so. I think that it would not be good if Germany won the war because they had a very bad ideology. The ideology was designed to kill others. Yeah, so this cannot be good. I mean, the Soviet Union is also bad. I know there's now this. They try to make it as bad, like the Soviet Union was as bad as Germany. It's bullshit, right? Because Soviet Union never planned to attack Europe like Germany did, right? So, as I can say is that it's not true, and I'm happy that we lost the war, and I'm happy that everything went as it was. Up until the moment when we started importing Muslim workers, that was the mistake that we fucked up, right?
No. What I was saying was a lot of innocent people in Germany sort of went through the same thing, you know, like when things were sort of like going against them and everyone was saying like, you know, like the blacks are against you, the whites are against you, the Jews are against you, these are against you. The same as what they're doing now with the Black Lives Matter and the Antifa and everything else. Do you not think it's a little bit of a scenario that is quite similar for all of us on a worldwide scale?
I think that, you know, I'm sorry if I don't, I'm not sure if I'm not sure if I answer the question as I should, but my impression is that these movements are all led by a central place, yeah? It's not a German issue, not a British issue. People who organize that and who pay for
like
that.
I said,
right?
it's like certainly a worldwide scale, yeah?
Yeah, it's
what
paid
I'm
for
saying is, when the Germans sleepwalked into the Nazi thing, right? Do you not think it's similar to what we're going through now on a worldwide scale?
I'm not sure.
We're being a little bit sleepwalked into sort of like some kind of sort of weird reality here.
I know.
We don't
you live
get
in Britain
completely.
You live in Britain? Are you from Britain?
Yes.
The UK? Okay, so you know what we have all the same problem in Europe, in Western Europe, right?
We've all got the same problem.
Muslim, black, and so on problem. I think we all have the same.
All I'm saying is,
yeah. Yes.
Back in the day, right? In Germany, when the Germans were all like, "Oh yeah, Hitler's brilliant," like, and the Americans saying, "Oh, Trump is brilliant," and Britain's saying, "Oh, Boris is brilliant," and let's put us all in lockdown. Let's do this, and we all sort of peaceably going into it because we believe it's for the best, which perhaps is a little bit like what happened, like sort of in the past.
I would not compare Trump to Adolf Hitler.
Do you see where I'm coming from?
I think that Adolf Hitler is really a very unique person in history. You cannot compare Trump to Adolf Hitler. Trump, and there's one common link between all these politicians. They're financed by the same people, right? Hitler was financed by American and British bankers. Yeah. Destroy Germany because he destroyed Germany. And Trump is financed by the same elites. But still, I don't think you can compare them, right? So I think you cannot compare them. because Hitler killed millions and Trump didn't kill people yet, right? About Stalin, yeah, this is a question. Yeah, this is the Stalin shit. I know. Compare Stalin to Hitler, and this bullshit. I know that this is revisionism. Yeah, I don't accept that. Stalin is a person who defended his country, and he won the war. That's it. Didn't kill anyone personally. That's it.
He didn't hurt anyone.
No, we didn't kill 20 millions. Not 20 millions. We killed 20 million Russians. We, Germany, did that. Not Stalin.
I just think we didn't learn any lessons, any of us.
He was a bad person, but financed, again, who financed Stalin and Lenin? Do you know where Lenin came from?
Exactly.
1917.
I know exactly who you mean.
Came from Germany to Russia in 1917. Germany financed Lenin. Destroy Russia. So it's our problem.
Exactly.
We made them strong and we thought they would destroy each other. But it didn't. It didn't work out.
Just to bring to your attention, I don't know if any of you remember the Chinese Revolution, where they all had the red books, the little red army.
I don't know much about China, to be honest.
Yeah. You know, when the Chinese Revolution was under Chow. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. And I just remember learning about that and thinking, you know, because they got all the youth, didn't they? They got all the youth to sort of abandon all common sense and jump on the bandwagon, didn't they? And they were all holding up the red books, and they were all into we're going to make things a better place and everything. And they were all the Chairman Mao. I might be talking out of turn here.
No, I listen to it. Sorry, I have a very bad connection. I don't really hear you too much. I try to follow. Go ahead.
Under Chairman Mao, and then they all sort of went crazy, and they all sort of like had the little red books, and they all went under Chairman Mao, and they had the little red army, and they went out and they destroyed everything, and they started breaking up the place. And everything that you know, all of the stuff that had mattered in the Chinese history, they all started smashing stuff up. I just always remember learning that in history.
It's always like that. You destroy something and you build something new. Let's take a Soviet Union as an example. Soviet Union was 80% illiterate people in 1917. Yeah? 40 years later, they were in space. I prefer to be in space and to have literate people than to be illiterate and have a king. Yeah, you destroy to build. That's it. The Soviet Union was not that bad. I mean, China also. China was extremely poor, right? We transferred our industry to China, produce with cheap labor. We thought it would stay like that, but they do not agree, and they also develop. Yeah, now they are a strong country. We made them strong. Yeah.
Absolutely not, and do not think we've done that these days.
We got a new super friend. It is Voltan.
Hello, Stevie.
Hello, Voltan.
Hello, man. Can you hear us okay?
Yes, you're good, man. Sounds great.
We're talking about history and stuff I don't know how to put in. So yeah, cool. Germany and Russia and stuff, and Russia and the war. Oh, it's a difficult one.
It is, my man.
Doing?
Very well. How are you? What's that you're drinking? Looks very light in color.
It's very sweet, actually. It's Thatcher's. It's the main search. Yeah, it's a nice strong cider.
I like 7-Up and cider. 7-Up and cider.
Oh, right, yeah. But that's a bit sweet, isn't it?
It's a joke. Think it out. 7-Up and cider.
Oh, right, I see. Okay. Fair enough. Yeah, a little bit.
That's all right, homeboy. No worries. How you doing tonight, man? Everything?
Yeah,
good?
Not too bad. I'm on my third pint of cider, so gradually fading a bit after heavy days. So yeah, it's all doing good.
Good.
When you say heavy day, what you been up to?
No, just usual Saturday stuff. Do you know what I mean? Went shopping earlier. Really strange experience because it's like going out to shops and things are gradually opening again, so it's just getting used to things again. So yeah, it's all like a strange kind of thing going on. Right, so yes, we're
I hear you, my
trying to
man.
keep away from the news because it gets you like really annoyed, you know.
Are you guys doing the full fat masks when you go into the stores in your area?
We're meant to, yeah, but no, I'm not doing that.
You don't have to. It's not mandatory.
No,
It
I'm
has
asthmatic.
become
Have it
mandatory.
on me right now. With me all the time.
What is that?
A mask.
It has become. I'll let you go first.
Very nice. Suits you.
Yeah, dirty. It's dirtier than my underwear. Yeah.
It is.
But
It
anyway,
has just become mandatory in the UK to have to wear face masks on public transport.
On
Oh,
yes,
Monday,
here too.
I can't wear a mask. I'm asthmatic. I will start hyperventilating. So
I'd rather
Okay.
not.
I wear them.
Mm.
I'd rather not go out.
No, yeah, same here, really. Do you know what I mean? So, like, yeah, it's a bit. Yeah, it won't work with this beard anyway. I'll just.
I'll sit in my garden. I won't bother going out.
Yeah, I won't either. Do you know what I mean? Not at all. Do you see what T-shirt he's got on?
Yeah, trigger
Stevie.
warning.
T-shirt.
I take a beer. I'll be back in 1 second. Yeah.
Look
Oh,
at
lovely
that.
Smokesteve.
Don't throw me out. Okay, I'll be back in 1 second.
Oh yeah, he's been waiting all year to show that off.
I wore it once earlier on, but now that I'm doing, dude, the shirt's a little tight, I know, but fuck it, it's worth it. I'll wear it anyways. You know what I'm
It
saying?
looks really good, mate.
Thank you, bro. Thank you.
Yeah, I might get one now myself, actually.
So where
Yeah.
are Hayden and Graham tonight? Anyway,
No idea. They win the champ.
I don't smoke
weren't
weed.
they?
PP.
Where's Hayden and Graham tonight?
You have like 2 devices. You're like have this double
Me?
fucking thing going on.
I'm sorry, I don't know.
Like, is everyone hearing that echo?
I don't think so. I have only my box and my microphone.
I've already got
There is
one
an
on.
echo there, but I ain't
Do you hear my voice? Do you hear me?
Fine. I'm not
Can you
worried.
hear me when I talk?
Yeah, you're good. You're good. You're clear.
I don't think I have 2 devices.
Speak
I
to
have
me, am
only-
I clear?
Go ahead.
Coming
No.
to me?
It stopped.
Am I
now.
okay?
Yeah, it stopped. It's fine now. It's weird. It went away.
I don't hear anything. I don't know.
Maybe it's the weed. Sorry. Fuck.
What we just making, Stevie? What we just making?
OG Kush. It's a Greenpoint Seeds. I made this one. It's very orangey. Like
Do you want
it
to put
tastes
your
like
loose across?
a bag of oranges, dude. It's amazing.
What orange bird is that? It's all just.
Would you like to hear a
No,
rant?
yeah, citrus flavor in the actual exhale on your tongue. It's really interesting.
Would you like to hear a rant from my husband?
Go on.
Totally off the cuff.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
He's a little bit drunk, but I can put him on and he can give you a complete rant if you want one.
It's up to you, PP. I mean, you be the decision maker on this one, I guess.
He said he's not ready.
That's fine. Just let's keep it, all good
Let's keep it real. Let's keep it real.
on the straight and narrow. If it gets too crazy, I might exit off or. Yeah.
Most men of PBB.
So Voltan, come on. What's your big beef of this week?
Fucking just being fucking alone, really, and not being able to speak to anyone. Do you know what I mean? It's bizarre. It's the most bizarre experience I've ever been in. Been this solitude and not like speaking to anyone. It's just really madness, really, and it's all looked like.
Have you knocked any statues down this week?
No, within a stupid part of the country, when don't really get statues this far. So, man, and that situation is really bizarre anyway. What's that all about? That's just a self-identity of politics anyway. That's just a divide and conquer tactic.
No,
By the
absolutely. Absolutely.
Separate yourself. So, I mean, there's no black or white. So just, oh, hang on. Where's he gone?
Excuse me, where do you live, Vulcan? In the US? Excuse me, where do you live?
He's gone to knock a statue down.
In the UK? No, in the US, right?
Yeah, I'm in UK.
Okay, I'm sorry, I just didn't hear that. Okay, sorry, I interrupted.
That's right.
Please.
Where about
Hello, mate.
UK?
That was funny. I don't know what I clicked, but I saw a bunch of fucking programming code. I was like, get me out of here!
You've won the Matrix. That was it.
I've been hacked.
Oh, fuck. Hayden will come back and I'll have the whole fucking thing all whacked out and he'll be like, what the fuck, man? Or he'll be like, what the fuck, man? You know?
Yeah, exactly.
Jesus. That's funny, dude.
Come on, Vulcan, you're the newest one. Tell us about how it's gone in your week this week.
Fuck all, really. You know, because I don't watch the media because it's all like it's all bollocks anyway. Because they just tell you what they want you to know, which I don't subscribe to that bollocks anyway. To me, so I just live my life how I want to live it. I know there's shit gone in on London, which is not right at all. To me, so I choose not to believe it really. It's called just stoned idiot.
Yeah, I know. It's all good, man.
No, it's all good, mate. It's all fine.
I put it on the screen. I'm doing the admin role.
Is it?
Yeah. I've got the power.
What did you smoke? What did you smoke? What did you smoke? To smoke weed?
Yeah. Marijuana. Cannabis.
I had some meth.
Ooh, meth. Wow. It's a little bit stronger.
You have to go into next.
Tell you what is your real name so I can stop calling you that?
My name is Anna.
Anna. I'm Paula.
Yeah. Nice to meet you. I met you already. Nice to hear your name. So I stay up all night, so I'm gonna continue streaming. I'm here.
Right
So
on.
what are you drinking now, girl?
What? This is beer.
What are you drinking?
Here.
Yeah.
Austrian.
Oh, what is hell is that?
Yes,
Tosser.
Tosser.
What's a tosser?
Austrian. Gösser.
Some tosser.
Yeah.
That looks like tosser. That is the best beer I've ever seen.
The best one. It's much better than. Sorry, I don't want to insult anyone, but it's much better than British beer. Yeah. I think so.
Bud Light. Yeah. It's probably.
Bud Light, I never tasted. I don't know how it is.
It's
Went to some.
Anna, where did you learn so good at English?
Huh? We have English in school for 10 years. You want or don't want, you have to learn it. We are occupied, you know. Russians left, Americans never left.
Your education system must be loads better than ours because all I could do is Ich heiße Paula. Ich wohne in Spennymoor, Nordostengland.
Oh my God.
All I heard was occupation.
That was cool. My name is Paula. I live anywhere, somewhere. I didn't hear that. Very cool. But your accent is like you're gonna commend me to go to the gas chamber. Nice.
Ik woon, Paula. Is it no, I live. Ik woon in Spennymoor.
Ik wohne in bla bla.
Ik wohne in Spennymoor in Noord-Oost-England.
I like English. English and German doesn't mix. It's different. But
do you know what? I always found German easier than French.
French? You learn French? I thought you hate each other.
Oh, everyone hates French.
Okay.
You probably do. We start to learn it, you know. We start to learn to say we at war.
If you want to learn German, I teach German to people. I do that. That's my job, right? I work in a school. You want German lessons?
I always preferred German to French, to be fair.
Okay, who doesn't? I had French for 6 years.
I like it.
I live near the French border anyway, so I have to learn it. What did you say? Did you say something, Wouten? I thought you tried to say something and we drowned you out.
No, I'm trying to. No, 2 women is just not.
I know.
No, I'm just
Sorry.
going to leave for a second because I've got to go to the toilet.
Yes, we'll leave. Okay. See you.
Bye.
Everyone in the school does it. I don't know if it's a good reply, but it's also only 0.5 grams. It's nothing. Yeah.
So Anna, where do you live?
Stuttgart.
I know it's in Germany, like whereabouts?
Occupied Stuttgart. American occupied Stuttgart.
Stuttgart.
Is it anywhere near Audi?
Hometown of Mercedes Benz.
Oh, nice.
Is it near Volkswagen?
Volkswagen. I don't know. I don't like that brand. I have a Volvo, so I don't know.
She heard you.
I
It's a Volvo.
have a
That's really.
15-year-old Volvo.
You said she lives in Volkswagen.
She said she
No,
lives
I have
near
a Volvo. Swedish car. Yeah, I don't know. It's very old, 15 years old.
What happened with Volkswagen with that emission scandal from like a few years ago in the U.S.?
I don't know. I guess our
They
American
cheated on their
partners-
they cheated on their like they did the test themselves. I guess it's the honor system or something. I don't fucking know, but
I don't
they
know.
put some juiced up cars that gave less, or they doctored up something, man. They got some.
I think that our American partners set us up. And that it came from American companies, the entire thing. I think it was from the US. And they
Yeah,
set us
maybe,
up.
maybe Ford might have had a few lawyers on the board, or maybe Chevy. And,
Because you don't do cars with normal
You
regular
did
gas.
know that Ford was initially British.
Please.
didn't know
Ford was initially British.
I
Was
had
it that
no
it was
idea.
American? I don't know.
No,
I know
Ford originally came from Britain.
Henry
Possibly.
Ford.
All Americans came from Britain. That's why I speak English.
I like
Sorry,
it.
it's a colony, right?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Probably was English too.
Shut up, man.
Sure, it was.
It's the same. Britain, America, it's the same. America is a child of Britain. It's the same.
sure.
Colonies. Right?
Yeah,
Like
definitely.
same
like
Germany
that.
and Luxembourg.
Yeah, I
Germany
think
and Austria.
I have
Same
some
thing.
ancestors that landed over here in 1630. We trace that back, which is pretty old school for
The Mayflower,
United States.
the Mayflower ship.
Yeah,
Were they?
before.
Oh my God. Wow.
Please don't tell Black Lives Matter that you were a slave, because they won't believe it if you're white. Jesus
But
Christ, that would cause absolute uproar.
they were Irish slaves in the Caribbean. I read a book.
Yeah,
about
well, you know what? A lot of the British went over there as slaves.
Mhm.
Not that you would think of these days.
Yeah, I mean there were all kinds of slaves, of course.
Yeah.
Not only black. I mean, I don't say there was no black slaves, but it was not only them.
Of course.
Well, they've claimed it as their own now. We all have to put our penance in, don't we? We all have to
Yeah, I
get
cannot
down on
say
our
it.
knee and say we are so sorry for all of the hundreds of years that you were born into slavery. We've
But
all
the
been
people
slaves.
But the people who protest against this are not even slaves. I mean, I don't think the people who do these protests are really descendants of slaves. Many of them are from Africa or from, I don't know, like when I look at their faces, but because I think I've never been to the US, but my impression is that American black people are like mixed, right? They're Afro-American, so they have white, Indian, Native American, whatever, mixture, right?
Well, I'm
So
going
they're
to
not
say
really
something I'm going to say something really controversial here. It might fire a lot of people up, but I've been watching the live stream all day today, right? And I watched the live streams from over in America, and I saw all of these people that's made up this little separate community in Seattle. It's now a new country that I can't remember its name. they've declared as a new country outside the USA. It's called something really stupid.
Yeah, of
Obviously
course.
not for them. What's it called?
Is it?
What's that?
Is
Liberia?
No.
Liberia, Sierra Leone, something like that.
In Seattle, right?
Okay.
In Seattle, they've declared a new country
I don't know
outside
that.
the USA with
I
borders,
don't know that.
and nobody's allowed to enter apart from people that are allowed. I assume you have to be black. And then
That's what it
I was
is.
looking at no, seriously, and I was looking at a protest today down in Southampton, right? And they were all fucking white, right? And they were all making the speeches about Black Lives Matter. And some guy on a bike was going past, and he said, "All lives matter." And they all jumped on him, right? They all jumped on him, right? All of these white people jumped on him and said, "Until Black Lives Matter, no lives matter." And I was like, "Oh, what is the world coming to?"
Crazy.
I don't know. I didn't notice
Is that not more? Is that not more Nazi than Nazi? Is that not more Nazi than being racist than saying until Black Lives Matter, no lives matter, and jumping on this guy on a bike that went past that said all lives matter?
To me, no lives matter indeed, because it depends on who you are, how you behave, and so on. Don't judge
it
people.
doesn't depend on anything. All lives matter. It doesn't matter what your colour.
Yeah.
There's no supremacy.
Right.
There's no harm in that.
Go South Africa and tell them that all lives matters. Yeah, they kill white farmers, they kill everyone. South Africa, if you're a white person, you're fucked, yeah? I'll just tell you.
Yeah, well, exactly, yeah. I mentioned that a few times as well.
The only African country that I know which is okay is Angola. Because I know people who live in Angola and work there. It's rich, they have oil, and it's like chilled out. It's cool. Anyway, the other countries just suck cock, yeah? Sorry for the expression. Angola, yeah? This is the only country which is okay. You don't hear about it, right? It's okay. But the other ones, Nigeria, only scammers, Somalia, Muslims. I mean, Africa is like, it's like shitholes. Is it? Libya, we don't talk about it, yeah? Okay, Morocco and Tunisia. And, that's also somehow okay. You go as a tourist, I guess, if you could go. But, I don't know. Sorry, I talk too much, please. Smokesteve was robbed of his possibility to speak. Please.
No, I wasn't. That's fine. Totally good. Totally good.
I don't know. I don't say Africa is bad as such, but...
Don't you just think the world's gone mad? Don't you just think the world has gone absolutely mental? In the last 6 months, the world has gone completely mental.
That's true. And also this Black Lives Matter shit is also very hypocritical, because people who have these little cute signs, like Black Lives Matter, they don't talk to black people, they don't go to African restaurants or shops. It's just like virtue signaling, right? I'm so cool, I have this sign and so on. But they don't have no such people, right? And I had such work in my workplaces. I had lots of workplaces. I had black people or mixed people. We spoke. Race was never a matter. I mean, what matters is the person okay or not. Can I go out and drink with this person or not? Yeah, for me, yeah. So I didn't care about color so much, unless the person tried to make me convert to Islam or something. Yeah.
Yeah, that would seem a bit harsh.
Yeah, but there are people who try to convert you. You know, alcohol is bad and pork is bad, and you have to.
Well, I mean, I don't care about religions trying to convert people. They're not going to have any luck with me. Whatever the fuck they want to do.
Me neither.
You know what I'm saying? Live and let live. Fuck them.
Spare ribs and pork, rice, and Chinese stuff is very good. Pork. Ribs and oh my god, now I get hungry when I talk about that. No religion can put me off that.
Yeah,
I agree with you.
Someone wants to be vegan or something, accept it, right? I have vegan, I know vegan people. I don't force them to eat meat or something, but...
Speaking of Chinese food, there was one of the I almost lost it one night on YouTube. There's this video of a guy who calls 2 Chinese restaurants with 2 phones, and they answer at the same time. And the guy's like, "Hey, what can I get for you?" And the other guy's like, "Yeah, what do you want?" And they do this whole thing back and forth. And it's the guys, they think they're talking to customers, but they're talking to each other. I don't know, man. That shit cracked me up, man, back in the day.
Okay, of course you can prank people. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, they figured out. You know, they're like, "Fuck you, motherfucker. We know it's a prank," but it was like 3 minutes of pure gold of just this confusion, you know? Goofy shit.
Should call the German government. You can do the same with them.
Come on then, tell us more about the German government. Is it Angela Merkel that's still in charge of you lot? Man?
Yes, she wants to a 5th term.
So what do you think of Angela then?
I don't say anything here because it's...
Right, what's the approval ratings of Ms. Merkel's?
Let's say I didn't vote for her. Is that enough?
Who did you vote for then?
Yes, 15 years of her. And I think it continues. It will go on. She will be another term. And after her is the next idiot who will do globalist agendas.
Well, to be honest, you've only got 2 parties, haven't you? In every single. You've got 2 parties you can vote for. I mean, most of us voted Conservative in England because Labour was no longer viable.
Yeah.
I mean, what would you class Smokesteve, right? What's your
I don't know.
you know your 2 choices? What would you class Labour and Conservative as our 2
I
parties?
think he's a Trump supporter, and that's good because I like Trump.
What if
the Liberals, the Democrats, and the Republicans?
Yeah, you think I'm a Trump supporter? No, I'm pretty independent. Honestly, I pick.
No. You know, like we all have 2 parties, don't we? Right?
Yeah.
No, we have
You've
more
got
than
your
2
Liberals,
parties here.
You've got your Republicans and your Democrats that is either going to get in.
There's
There's more.
We have Labour and Conservative.
Yeah.
What have you got?
We have
CSU, SPD, Greens, AfD are the position. They're like called the very evil Nazis, but they're the best party. Vote for them. AfD means Alternative for Germany, right? They
Alternative for Germany.
Alternative für Deutschland, AfD. Yeah.
Smokesteve, what are you? Are you a Republican, or are you a Democrat, or are you something else?
would be something else. Yes, that's correct. I have a lot of beliefs. I have a belief system that encapsulates things from both of them, as well as other, what they call Libertarian Party here. There's many different parts of every.
Oh, the Libertarians. Please
that,
tell me that's not the Lib Dems. The Lib Dems over here.
Totally different. Totally different. They just want less laws, less intrusion, which is great. You know, too much government control is a bad thing. And if people keep making laws for every single fucking thing that exists, it's going to be absolutely a ridiculous society to live in. That being said,
I'm going to nip for a quick wait, and I'm going to put my husband on.
I wouldn't be told.
There you go. Take over. Take over.
How's it going, my friend? How are you?
She's cute. That pretty one with the beard.
Thanks, man. Thank you much. I thank you. How you doing, brother? What are you drinking tonight, man?
Far too much.
Volume over quality in that one. Just pounding, as they say.
I work hard and I work long hours, and I sleep a lot when I'm drunk.
Yeah, I hear you. It's a good way to get a long block of sleep. I hear you, man. Right on. Good for you.
Mm-hmm.
So you
put you back onto the one that cares.
All right. The great talk.
He's going to talk.
He's a talker, that one. Looks like a collector of some sort. Like,
He's very lucky to have me.
drive heavy equipment, giant fucking cranes and shit, something like that. Maybe, I don't know. Just looked like a tough guy.
He looks like a power guy that drives heavy equipment. He said he's seen how much he overloads his van.
That's funny. Good for him.
Oh, you're not striking up there, Smokesteve.
Striking up? Smoking weed, you mean? That's
Oh,
what
you know, I gave that up. I've given all that up. I've been such a good girl.
I've been smoking weed constantly the entire time I've ever been on this thing. It's in my name. Smokesteve. Smoke is before my name. So it's more apparently. Literally, the first time I went on, it was like, what do you want your name to be? And I'm like, I'm smoking a bowl, and my name is Steve. Smokesteve. Enter boom. I'm on. People started calling
Anna,
me.
do you smoke?
Huh? How much?
Anna, do you smoke?
Oh. And do you smoke?
Anna, do you smoke?
Not weed.
Just
A
meth.
lot of weed.
Yeah.
She said not weed, not weed.
Yeah, and cigarettes sometimes. Not too often though.
Good.
No, meth, when I go to Slovakia or Czech Republic, I buy a lot of beer, I fill my car with it, I buy some meth because it's very cheap. There,
Do you
right?
participate in Oktoberfest, EU Watch, and?
Yeah, this is very commercial and tourist event.
It is. It's nothing. The locals don't do it at their own level.
I think this is only Bavaria, and Bavaria is South Germany. It's quite far from here, 100 kilometers. So I actually, to be honest, I do my own Oktoberfest every day, all day, every day.
Right. Yeah, me too. Yeah, there was an American movie called European Vacation. It was with Chevy Chase, and there was a scene from Germany when they go to the fucking beer garden.
Very nice. Very
and
nice.
He's doing the slap dance, and they get into a total fist fight because he doesn't like the slapping, with the fucking.
But that's Austrian. It's not German. They're big, like this, and they repeat.
Can I just ask you two?
It's called Klappler.
What are your lockdowns in your country at this moment? What phase are you on?
Fears.
Well, my governor, or the governor,
we are taking away the masks and so on. We can go out. We have to wear masks in public transport, in shops. That's it. Not in school. I work in school, right? Not in school anymore. Only outside. I'm a teacher, German teacher, yeah? So, not in our school for small children, below the age of 12, yeah?
You're a German teacher. That's a bit of a busman's holiday, isn't it, for you?
Yeah. No, they studied English and Russian translation, and then teaching. I have 2 university educations, master and bachelor. Now I do that. I worked like many jobs. It's my last job. It's the best one.
Did you say master's
You do
degree?
speak excellent English.
Yeah, Russian and English translation.
Good
I know
for you.
Russian too. I'm a Russian troll.
Smokesteve.
Putin pays me and so on, right?
Over to you.
Ask last dance.
Yeah, well, over here, the governor made a 4-part plan, which is fucking the stupidest thing I've ever heard. And basically, it was the first phase was called Start, which was dumb. Start. Ooh, wow, so creative. Second phase, Start. Yeah, so second phase, he's opened it up like retail at some level, but they have diminished capacity. So now there's lines outside of all the stores, and it's like you have to fucking stand there and wait.
That is so what we've said. The diminished hours is actually bringing people closer together. Instead of expanding the hours and keeping the staff and keeping people apart, you could have done that.
Yeah, but they're doing diminished capacity here. So if a place had a 250 a fire code limit to their building, then now it's only going to be maybe 75 to 80 per time. So at a supermarket, at a rush, then we'll have 75 people outside. So one person comes out, one person can go in. And there's this kid sitting there on his cell phone, 17-year-old little bastard, and he's fucking ruling the world because he controls you. He's like, okay, you can go in now, sir. And I'm like, thank you, Timmy. That's fucking great. Yeah, you fucking rule me now. I can't go in the supermarket. It's hilarious. But apparently there's the wisdom in that, yet they're having these gigantic protests, but we can't shop. I don't really get it. But then everyone's like, oh, one's indoor, one's outdoor. Well, okay, so when you're outdoors in a group of 11,000 people, if their virus is there, what does it just magically float away? Or do people fucking get sick?
No, absolutely. Absolutely.
But it's not this one person who's responsible, right? His job is to count people and lets you in. So it's not his fault. I think the fault is of the government who makes these rules, right? This person is just an employee who does his job. I mean, it's annoying, but I don't blame them. I blame the people who make these rules. The virus is anyway a bullshit, I'm sorry, but it's a flu. Because in East Germany, before 1990, we got a special shot against tuberculosis. Who got this? He doesn't get sick from corona. And we have this in East Germany, we have much lower numbers and cases. So I don't care. I cannot die from that. I don't give a fuck about it, right? Because I have this old shot from before 1990.
My mother was actually stood in the queue behind somebody that was from Romania.
Okay.
Shut up. My mum was actually stood with somebody in the queue that was from Romania, and she said, bear this in mind. She said, this is exactly what it was like when we were living in a communist country, like the way we used to have to stand in line. And she said that's the way that things were done then. She said, because that's the way they used to make you stand.
Yeah, but it means the 1990s, because before 1990s it was not like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
They talk a lot of crap because my parents or both grew up.
And that scared me a little bit because I thought, you know what, we are heading into this.
It's 1990s. It was a time of hunger and when we didn't have enough stuff. It was a transition time, not a time when communism was actually in power. Yeah, the transition was very hard. That's true, because the West came in, took everything, bought everything for pennies, and took over all the companies. Yeah, of course. Then people didn't have shit. Yeah, that's true. Romanians, yeah, I know. They will tell you everything.
Crazy Romanians.
It is.
I know Bulgaria.
Did you guys catch the Thursday night show at all? Anybody?
Yeah, I did, yeah.
Did you? EU?
The trans debate. The trans debate.
Yeah, that was less fireworks than I expected. It was fucking tame. I mean, they're agreeing with each other. They're both like,
It was actually so tame, I turned it off 3/4 of the way through because I was tired. I half expected it to be fireworks. It was very tame. I agree. Yeah. I don't think the situation is very tame, but I think you had a quite fiery lady that was willing to go all out to smash and grab, but she came round to it. But I think he was very passive.
Yeah, he was, and he was somewhat logical.
She was very passive. Sorry that I said the wrong thing.
He tried to say at one point, he's like, there was a gray area about, let's say, a man with, let's say, like me, and I say, my name is Stephanie or whatever, and then like, what if I'm trying to enter a woman's dressing room or something, you know? Like, then Hayden jumped in and he's like, come on, it's really not a gray area. I mean, look, there's people that look like me that claim to be a woman. And yeah, I hear that part of it, and then I hear the other side of it, that there are very much legitimate trans people who I just tell you a little story? Different level of respect, but it's such a difficult thing to kind of get in the right order, you know.
Can I just tell you a little story? 10 years ago, I had something of a medical emergency, and I had to be admitted to hospital. And I was in a different town at the time because we weren't living in our hometown. And I was admitted to, I believe it was Mansfield Hospital at the time in England. And they admitted me to hospital, and they put me in a mixed ward. And I did not feel comfortable. I felt so uncomfortable, I checked myself out because I was beside a man on one side and a man on the other side. And although I could pull the curtains round, because of the condition I was in, I didn't feel able to pull the curtains round. So I phoned for a taxi, and I got a wheelchair, and I got a
What does that sound? What the fuck is that?
Not for me. I don't know. Not for
in a
me.
mixed ward.
That squeaking sound. Am I the only one who heard that?
It's not for me. I don't know. Where does it come from? I don't know.
Anna, have you got a mouse?
Oh, there's one man taxi.
Not a mouse. The mouse is like that. You cannot make this sound. Look, I had it all in my hand. It's your
I have a pug, but the pug's not squeaking.
Ah, okay. So it's him.
So yeah, I got taken to hospital, and they put me in a ward, which was a mixed ward, and I didn't feel comfortable.
Yeah, and?
Smokesteve, would you feel comfortable if you were surrounded by girls in a hospital ward? Don't answer that anyway.
Yeah, I'd feel great. I'd be fucking psyched.
Anna, how would you feel?
I'd feel like, who wants to do a prostate exam? Yeah, no,
Exactly, in front of a woman in one side and a woman in the other.
That's gay. Yeah, I'm just kidding around. I mean, but yeah, therein lies the difference. You guys would be like, what the fuck if you walked in and there was 200 Steve-Os standing around, doctors, fucking stethoscopes, rubber gloves. You'd be like, I'm out of here. This is fucking weird. So you obviously, there's people are viewed differently. You know what I'm saying? That's your point.
Us British are probably more inhibited than you guys are. But I did not feel comfortable sharing a ward with men. Is that out of touch?
I don't know. I didn't. I'm sorry.
You two are both laughing. Is that what happens in your countries?
No, I'm coughing because I'm smoking cannabis. No, I mean, that's fine. You're a woman and yeah, totally. I don't know. I like privacy, so I don't want to share shit with anybody. You know what I'm saying? Like fucking man or woman. But I guess if it comes down to it, I don't know. I understand. I am empathetic to what you're saying, but yeah, it is what it is. You watch. What about you? Men, women, you don't give a shit. You mess them all up. You bust their chops, right?
Look, I was wearing a hospital gown, and sometimes I throw my leg out of bed. Sometimes I snore a little bit. Look, I don't want another bloke seeing me like that in a bed.
Yeah, I'm not really sure.
What Smokesteve did you get? What is your point now?
I'm trying to expound on her thing here. So, I guess she's asking, what we're saying is that there's a certain level of comfort you would have around women that would be greater than you would have around men with certain things.
What I was saying is,
right?
It's the same as, like the trans debate, when they said about the toilets and stuff like that. When I said I wouldn't feel comfortable in a mixed ward, the same as I wouldn't feel comfortable in toilets that I shared with men.
Yeah,
Right.
I don't know. I go to female toilets, to be honest, but with the other point, yes, I don't really care. I mean, I'm ready for anything, I don't know.
You're ready. If somebody made a move on
Last
you.
time I had sex was with a 15-year-old, and I'm 33. Yeah, I don't need to explain anymore, I think.
That was a little TMI, but that's all right. That's fine.
If you ask me, I tell you. I don't care,
No, I just think it's embarrassing. I don't know, maybe I just grew up in the old school now. I don't think it's comfortable.
Pick them up, give them alcohol, and then you do what you want.
Right. No,
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
you asked me, I answer.
it's all right. It's
That's
all
a
right.
method.
Addy, you can tell you're getting drunker.
Anyways, it was a decent show. I listened to it on the way home from work, and it was cool because my phone actually, I got it on the Bluetooth in the Toyota pickup, and it's cool. I can listen to it through the radio, so I got to hear it in nice stereo. And I was like, at the end, I got home. I'm like, Hayden's going on. I'm running inside. I'm like, hi, honey. Hi, kid. Hayden's going on. It was because it's 5 o'clock around the time I get home.
Where is Hayden actually? Since you mentioned Hayden, what happened to him? Is he
They gave
alive?
up on the show, man. Kind of.
He gave
They
up?
have up. They didn't give up on it. I change that. Let me say they are focusing more on Tuesdays for this, probably
Focusing
maybe a
more.
little, and then Thursday they're going to do more studio stuff. So
Nice.
I
nice
saw-
euphemism.
he was basically. I just tweeted him. I'm like, if it's going to end, bro, let me give it a shot. I just want to keep it going. Like, I'm hoping more people come on.
Yeah,
And
I'm here. I will always be here.
there's one as we speak. Hey, wait, was I supposed to
Graham!
do that?
Hello!
What's going on? You all right?
Sorry, man. Was that
Of
too
course.
abrupt?
It's fine.
All
I've
right.
seen
Nice
if you
to see you.
noticed. What
How's
what's
the
everyone
arm,
talking about?
darling?
It's okay. It's okay. It's like I've got like I have to do this. The break's here, so I have to constantly just do this all the fucking time just to stop it seizing up. You know, so it doesn't heal. So it heals working. It's all right though. It's all right. I got my little girl had a nightmare the other night, and I ran in. It was like 2 a.m. She was crying her eyes out, and I totally forgot because I was just half asleep, and I just picked her up, and I was literally up all night. It was like it was back to day one with the pain. I was like, oh my god! But I just didn't you know, you just don't think about these things do you sometimes, you know. Oh wait, is someone calling me a turf? Oh, for fuck's sake!
That's not me, dude. Even though when I type shit, it does come up as trigger warning also. That must be Hayden.
Well, I am. Oh, Alex. Is Alex not
or
there
Alex.
still?
So we're all trigger warning. It's crazy. There's like fucking 4 trigger warnings going.
So
I don't know.
How's it been tonight then? Has there been any falling outs? Is everyone happy?
Everyone's good.
Have you been talking about the Chaz? I love Chaz. I'm obsessed with it at the moment.
Oh, no, we haven't talked about that yet, but we can do.
It's so fucking
I think
brilliant.
that's awesome.
All these like,
We did talk about it.
it's so funny though. Like all the sort of the usual platitudes of like destroy capitalism and destroy civilization and all that. And the first thing they did was colonize an area, put up borders. They started segregating by race, and I'm just like, are you fucking serious? This isn't this all the stuff you're supposed to be against. Jeez, oh, I've got to keep the noise down.
I know.
It's brilliant though. I'm obsessed with the Chaz. I'm totally obsessed with it.
I
Do you
hear
want to
this-
move there, Graham? Do you want to go on holiday there?
No, I don't think they'd like me. They'd do a little Google. They'd search my name after checking my ID at the borders because suddenly apparently borders are a thing for
Yeah,
them.
with all the machine guns and stuff.
They've been going no borders, no KKK and all that for fucking years.
Look, just carry a card saying hands up, don't shoot.
Yeah. I love it though. Did you see the guy today who I don't know what the altercation was, but they literally were choking him on the floor. And there was a moment that he just started saying how he's like, you're choking me. He didn't say I can't breathe. And I just wish he had done. Because I'm like, you are literally supposed to be the BLM protesters. And you're choking a man out on the floor right now. And you could see the moment they all realized and they're like, oh. Yeah, you know what? We're all just a sniff away from evil, man. We are. Every single one of us is capable of it.
Graham, my favourite protest today was the one in Southampton. Shut up, love. He's singing in the background. My favourite protest today was Southampton because it was the Black Lives Matter protest, and every single one of them were white, and they had all of those white girls up on stage going, Black Lives Matter, and someone in the background shouted, all lives matter, and they went, until Black Lives Matter, nobody's life matters. And I was like, oh my god, you absolute brainwashed fucking freaks.
It's so weird hearing
And
that
they
in
all
the
got
UK.
down on the knees then, and they all started chanting in this like totally cult type situation, which made us think, oh my God. I mean, Graham, I'll send you the footage. I've got it. I'll send. They all got down on the knees and they were all going, Black Lives Matter. Who does it? Black Lives Matter. Who says it? Black Lives Matter. And they were all like that. And I swear to God, it was so freaky. It was like a cult.
Yeah, well, it is a cult. They're all on the knees in the park near me, and I was like, "Fuck off!" I mean, lowercase b, of course, Black Lives Matter. You know, I'm not arguing with that. But the problem is, it's a very loaded statement, isn't it? Because not as much in the US, the Black Lives Matter movement. If you go through the website and stuff, it's very much like, you know, about getting people registered, about stopping police violence, which for me isn't a racial issue. You know, it happens to everyone. I think that the approach you take to stop police violence should apply to everyone. You know, the police shouldn't be checking someone's race when they do or don't kneel on someone's neck, man. That's that. I'm not a fan of like laws and processes that have a race in mind. You know, but the Black Lives Matter movement in the UK is a fucking joke. It's insanity. It's straight up like, we need to erase capitalism because it's racist. It's killing black. So at least the American version of it doesn't make that. At least the people that run it obviously think along those lines, but that's not what they're doing. They're just trying to get people registered to vote and active in the community, which I stand behind, man. Completely, 100%. Why not? But BLM UK is a fucking joke. It's primarily white people. They don't speak for the community at all. Fuck off.
Yeah, I mean, when people say that expression to me, I say, of course they do. I 100% think that. It doesn't bother me. I don't have to be singled out and have people say all lives matter or white lives matter. If they want to say Black Lives Matter, good to go. I have no response to that. I just say, cool, right on, good.
Yeah,
I agree.
I'm not getting on my knees for anyone though.
No.
Only my daughter, man.
That's what they want to do. Go for it. You know, I think it's great, and an expression of what they believe is fine. Just leave me the fuck out, and I'm cool, and I respect them, and I certainly, there's some parts of their cause. Obviously, that guy getting killed that way was fucking crazy. And I can't
even watch the video. I can't watch the video.
I had to, out of respect for the guy, at least once, just one time through, because I was like, you know what, the guy died. I'm going to watch this because I need to at least see the whole thing. So if I speak about it, I can say I watched the whole damn thing, and it is motherfucking sickening.
Here's the thing here. Nick said all lives matter, and you get this, like, some people, and I'm not saying you're one way or the other, Nick, but you get some people saying Black Lives Matter, and they're just cocks, or they're very, very heartfelt, and you get the same thing with all lives matter. You know, there's some people that really. The thing is, both statements are correct, and yet for some reason we're getting angry mobs where one of them's there going Black Lives Matter, and then fucking all lives matter, you cunt, and it's like, neither of them are saying anything that's incorrect, but there's
no reason for that.
we got that tribal line at the moment, but for me, in terms of law and policy, in terms of anything that the government might do right now, then it needs to be in terms of all lives matter. You can't be bringing in new rules that are like, you know, like hate crime stuff, where you know if a white girl gets raped, the rapist will get 10 years. If a black girl gets raped, the rapist will get 15 years, because the argument being that you're doing more damage to the black community. But to me, you're just saying that the white girl's rape,
like a racial aggravation thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's racially aggravated, and it's like, well, that exact mentality is how we ended up with 20,000 children being raped in this country by grooming gangs who were doing it on racial lines. And I think that you can't do law and policy. I mean, it's a fucking joke in this country. They're cherry picking stats, so they're saying, oh, you're more likely to be stopped and searched if you're black, but it's like, yeah, but you're more likely to go to prison if you're white. So there's you could take, there's all these different metrics, and for some, white people are ahead and black people are ahead, and they're all over the place. It's never going to be dead even, ever. It's never going to be across the board even, because different judges are going to have different approaches. You know what I mean? You
Well,
can't. And we're going mental
Sorry,
at the moment. We're going mental in this country, and things aren't that bad here. They're really fucking not. Not in those terms, anyway.
Right. So are they going mental for their existence for there or for
this is my
for America?
This is my personal opinion.
What the hell is it, you know? Oh, Graham, you look like you're hurting, homeboy.
Yeah, I'm all right. Well, when
you winced, man.
I'm all right. Go.
Get a fucking sling, dude. Get something.
They took it off me.
Oh, they want you to move.
This is my personal opinion on this whole situation. I think that the likes of Sadiq Khan has racially aggravated it by coming on board and turning around and saying that nobody come to London this weekend because we're going to have hassle. This, that, and the other. I think it's aggravated both sides of the argument, which I think has made things 100 times worse than what they would have been. The protests that were there last week were absolutely hostile to the police and the public, and they largely got away with it.
Oh yeah.
And then this weekend, I think that what they are calling the far right, I'm sure that there have been some extreme far right that's come in and have not behaved well, which you're going to get in every protest. That hasn't made things look too good. However, I do believe it's heavily weighted in the Black Lives Matter and the Antifa side, because I think that's the way it's being publicised, and that's my personal opinion.
I have to go. It's 2:00 in Germany.
Bye.
Yeah.
Late.
1:00 here.
See you next time. Take care. Bye. All the best.
No worries, EUH. Thank you very much. I saw you before when you were. I was watching you on the telly.
Bye.
But yeah, I think the term far right has become a very dangerous tool recently. I think the vast majority of people turning up to defend statues today weren't far right at all. I don't think they even see themselves or look at the world through the lens of left or right, particularly, especially not the guys that were doing Sikh aisles and attacking the police. I don't even think they're actually far right. The problem is that we're labeling. We're taking people who are far right and labeling them as racist, but it doesn't necessarily equate to being the same thing. Like I said, in this Chaz, they've literally just segregated the blacks. There's a black only garden there. That is an act of racism, and they are far left. It's really fucking dangerous, because the problem is they keep calling these blanket people far right, including veterans that were stood there that basically saying, please don't destroy this. This is honouring people that died in world wars, the world wars. They're blanketing them all as far right, but the problem is then you if you're there and you've turned up and you've not got a racist or bad bone in your body, but you see that the mayor and all the newspapers are calling you extremist racist scum, and then you end up just moving a little bit onto their side, because then you're like, well, I'm not fucking racist, so maybe that guy isn't, and it radicalizes people further, and it does, and then it allows in the actual far right, because the actual far right who are dangerous, they're not going to be stood there Sikh Island punching the police. They're going to be in a suit and they're going to get elected. And they get, and that's how we get these problems then, because we don't have the, it doesn't just happen overnight. It builds over time, and the far right, as they're being called, and the far left need one another. One cannot exist without the other. If either one of them just chilled out, what?
Do you know what I wish? I wish that what the construe as the far right had just stayed away today, and let them get on with it.
Well, this is where the narrative falls apart, because Tommy Robinson did a video saying, "I'm not going to London on Saturday. I'm not going there because it's obviously a media political trap to bring up a sort of race war. He said that, and he said, "I'm not going there. I wouldn't, it was something along the lines of, I wouldn't if I were you. I don't want to sow racial division." That's what he said. But here's the problem, though, that because it then gets presented as that, as all Tommy Robinson's mates, you're lacking the nuance. I don't think Tommy Robinson is particularly right, even.
No, I don't either, but
it can be a nasty prick at times. But nasty prick doesn't equal right wing. We got to get away from that. It's ridiculous. You
can't just turn around and say, "I dislike this person because of," and then just say that you're discounting everything they say.
Ask Tommy Robinson about the NHS, and he'd say, "I fucking love it. We need to protect it. I love the NHS." That's not a far right position. Ask him about public services and that. I guarantee you, it'd all be left wing. The whole narrative is fucked up at the moment. It's basically working class. If you're working class, you just get called far right, and it's disgusting.
No,
Sorry,
right.
Steve, what were you going to say?
Yeah, so I've heard a lot of the cool shit that he said about going out against, rape, grooming stuff and all of this, that he's very out, spoken out about it. But yet people always go back to, well, he's a dick or a prick or a dickhead. He's an asshole. He's done something. What is it that he has done that's so egregious that there's always that tag put on him? You even did it. You did it.
Yeah, it's always around, like, okay, so he's a thug. He is a thug, and
why? Because he wears a scally cap and he's tough?
No, he just gets in a lot of fights. But at this point, it's hard to say whether those fights, it's also people attack him at the moment. Like, the thing about Tommy Robinson is he's just been painted as a complete and total bad guy, and it's the way it's almost like the opposite of George Floyd. You know the way George Floyd did a load of bad stuff, but now they're just drawing him literally as an angel. A literal angel, and he had a gold coffin and all that. Well, it's almost like, in terms of media narrative, it's the opposite of that. So we had a huge issue after 9/11 with, nationally. Obviously, a few people after 9/11 were attacking people with turbans and Paki bashing and all that stuff. And I think we had a big thing in this country where we panicked and we didn't want to lose to racism. We didn't want to lose to extremism, and we went the other way. But we went far too far the other way, to the point where
we are now. Look how we are now.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. To the point where criticism of the Indo-Asian community was instantly denounced as racist. Instantly. And for some reason now they're so deep into this narrative that even standing there and saying, thousands of girls, thousands of children in this country are raped every single year because of the color of the skin, because of it. They've literally stood in court and said that. They said that they're not Muslim, they're not clean, they're dirty, and I wanted to make sure that I knew they were dirty, etc., etc. But for some reason, that it's this. Well, we just don't have enough of a mix in the media anymore. We have this left-wing narrative where racism is power. Racism comes from power and privilege and being in the majority and everything. We're not allowed to have the narrative that white children have been victimized based on the color of their skin. And I don't even know why fully. I know it goes back to 9/11 originally. It goes back to that overcorrection. And unfortunately, Tommy is the figurehead for that. And he doesn't speak well. He's a working class guy. He's got a bad history. He doesn't speak very well. He's not stupid, but he's not got media training. He doesn't know how to talk to cameras. He doesn't know how to sit on a big official debate or anything like that. Do you know what I mean? He just talks like a guy you'd meet down at the pub. So even though he's talking about these grave things,
rough around the edges, as they say.
Yeah, rough around the edges. But the problem is the left in this country now has so much contempt for the working class and is so disconnected from the working class that they can only see him with disgust, to the point where they will literally ignore the rape of children. They call it a safeguarding failure. There was one in Oldham Council the other day. He stood up and he literally described it as a safeguarding failure. And it's like, mate, I went to school there in the early 90s in Oldham, and my school was segregated by race. Labour did that. They segregated us by race. And I didn't even realise it at the fucking time.
Yourself?
Yeah, I didn't know. Yeah, all the white kids. I was with all the white kids in my class, and then
How old are you, Graham?
I'm 37 now.
Okay, wow.
But it was done in a positive way. It was done in a supposedly good. But all it's done is just fucked things up. It's that we haven't mixed. We haven't integrated. There's no respect. You know, I mean,
You know what?
Go on.
This could have been all different if they had integrated people properly.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Because I don't think any of us has this like massive racial thing. I mean, I know I don't. I meet people and I see people, and I've met some great gay friends, black friends, like brown friends, whatever friends, you know, and I've got on with them fantastic, and I don't even think about that. But if I look back to what it was when I was younger, it was a case of segregating us from each other. If I look back to when I was younger. But obviously, because you meet people in different jobs and stuff like that, I mean, I always remember me and my gran walking down. My gran would have been horrified. Obviously, me coming from the northeast, I mean, we didn't see black people until like probably late 1970s.
No, all my family from up that way, and even now, it's not that. It's still pretty white.
It's not that common. It's not that common. And my gran would have a heart attack if she'd seen someone black on the other side of the road. She would have had a bloody heart attack. She would have. And that sounds
no, I get
awful,
that, but that's okay.
Right?
That's not. But at the moment though, what the narrative is painting your nan as being bad because of that, and it's like no, you wouldn't. You wouldn't. You know, if you went to a black, you know, if you went to a country in Africa, you know, and they just never saw black people. It happened to me all the time when I was in East Asia. You know, there was sometimes I really went out there, man. I was like out in Cambodia and Eastern Thailand, and sometimes I was literally the only white person in Thailand. Literally, right? And people were just coming up to me like, "What? What the fuck was like?" I was and you know what? It wasn't some like it. That was fine. It was awesome. It wasn't like it was. I wasn't like, "Oh my god, you're all being so racist." I didn't give a shit. It was absolutely 100% fine to be to find something unusual because you're not used to it. That doesn't make you racist. Not at all.
No,
what was that?
No.
Big fan of big butts. Oof, yeah. Oh,
But my gran did used to be absolutely horrified. If she'd saw a black man walking down the street, she'd have gone,
hey,
because he was like, oh,
Chris.
She was
Good
like,
evening. You all right?
Hey, dude, how long were you down there? Because I'm a little baked.
He's only been there a second.
Only a second, mate. Only a
all
second.
All right, cool.
Hey, Chris, you all right?
Yeah, I'm good. You?
No, can't complain.
Very good, my man.
No, this whole thing is absolutely insane. I mean, I had a bit of a row today with a friend of mine, and it was along the lines of, I don't care what skin pigmentation, racial orientation, sexual orientation someone is. If they're a good person, they're a good person. There's good and bad in everyone.
Yeah.
This whole thing is just polarizing people.
No, I think you're right.
Today, there's been marches in Liverpool, and they look
like they went okay in Liverpool today. They look like they were okay.
They were okay, but they're on about pulling down the statues on the town hall. Around the town hall, the statues of black slaves and information.
Haven't they been spraying out Penny Lane?
They have been spraying out Penny Lane, but they're not. The mayor says he's not going to change the name of Penny Lane, but the town hall's got like statues of black slaves around it and information about those black slaves.
Yeah,
and it's not about like you know, this was a slave. This is what happened.
History. It's history.
We don't repeat it. You
Yeah,
know,
no, it's
Yeah.
good. I think it's good. I think they should all be there, every single one of them, and add more. Fucking, you know, if my town was built with slave money, and Manchester was to a certain extent, I want to fucking know about it. I want to see that name there. I want to be able to Google it and find out for myself. The one thing I don't want
No, I
to
agree.
learn, I don't want to learn my history through this ridiculous Marxist lens of like, you know, all white people enslaved all black people. It's just fucking ridiculous.
Yeah,
you know,
but
I mean,
We're back
That's
at the
like-
stage where we burning all of the library books and we redoing history again.
well, there is a purge happening right now, isn't there? You know,
yeah,
it's
definitely.
fucking the Mighty Boosh and stuff like that, and you know, like
It is.
what was that? The one filmed in Glossop that had the Papa Lazaro in it. What was that comedy? The League of Gentlemen. That's been pulled
League of
down as well.
Gentlemen, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
love that.
And it's like it's oh, look at that TW t-shirt. It's so funny though. I'd rather all that was there. I want to see every fucking
Yeah, but
second of it.
It's basically Fahrenheit 541 mixed with 1984. We'll just erase everything from history and we'll start from scratch. The
Right,
words you
can I just say just one thing about all of the fucking comedians that's come out and said, I deeply apologise for all of the horrible things that I've said. And when I've blacked up, I really, really apologise for that. Does anyone else just want to fucking slap them in the face and just punch them in the mouth for saying that?
I don't even. I honestly, I don't like. Here's the thing. I don't even have an issue with people blacking up necessarily. It depends entirely on the context.
Nobody does. It's funny. Do you know what? Alf Garnett will be turning in his fucking grave now.
What am I supposed to do, right? I grew up. I literally the first person I ever got into. I love Batman, right? So the Batman 1989 movie. The soundtrack was Prince. My dad got me the Prince soundtrack, yeah. And the first
that was the one with Michael Keaton.
Yeah, and the first musical artist I ever got into, and I loved him all through my teenage years. Every single album I've got, every single fucking one, non-stop. Listen to Prince, right? So I mean, I didn't do it, but at 16, if I'd have dressed as Prince for a Halloween party, it would have come from a place of absolute love and respect, absolute, with zero bad intentions. Like I adored that man. Right, so I didn't do it, but if I had have darkened my skin,
yeah, but dude, you could have used a little bit of common female makeup of the darker tones. The guy wasn't really.
He wasn't super dark, no. But here's the thing, you know, in the 90s, that probably would have been okay. But there's a weird thing now where it's like we've gone into panic mode where it's any darkening of the skin. A comic book artist, got cancelled the other day because she drew herself. And she had a bit more of a tan than she does in real life. She wasn't like black. It wasn't like full fucking minstrel. It was just a bit tanned. And she got cancelled. Go on.
It's because we can't go on fucking holiday anymore.
Is that what?
Well, a tan is considered attractive. And
yeah, but no, she was in swimwear, and so she was obviously like on the beach, like had a bit of a sun-kissed skin
on the beach. Fucking hell, get the dogs in. That's illegal.
But they're now calling that blackface, and it's like, are you fucking insane? Like, at what point were we not allowed to celebrate one another? You know, if I was on a full-on minstrel, just walk out. There's a lot of black people in my area, and I'm just there at the windows going like that. Then yeah, that's fucking disgusting. But I don't. Why would you give a shit about it beyond that?
Graham, there's a book, right, and it's called Black Like Me, and it's by John Howard Griffiths, and I think it was actually released in 1960.
Right.
And basically, it's a white man in America who took a load of tanning pills, and he went around America to different states pretending to be black.
Oh, it's out of stock on Amazon.
Oh, it's absolutely a brilliant book. He goes around America pretending to be black and documents how he was treated during that time. and then he comes back to New York and stops taking the tablets, stops doing everything that he was doing, and then he goes back round America to the same states as a white man, and documents how he was treated. And the polarization of it is, it's quite shocking.
Yeah.
But, it's definitely worth reading. But, as I've said, as I've said to a lot of my friends when we've been talking about this, back then it wasn't the same as it is now. Things have moved on a hell of a lot. Racial equality has moved on. I mean, the UK, you can't. I know we've had it bad in the UK with issues like Stephen Lawrence and various other issues.
And you always will. You'll always get racist people, though.
You will.
You can't stamp it out.
Is Tommy Robinson considered racist?
Yeah, even though he isn't. But he does hang around with a lot of racist people, though. That's the problem.
If you actually look at the news now, Smokesteve, the issue we've got is like they're showing photos of statues around the UK, and they're saying the far right are defending these statues. But when you look at the pictures, you might have a few dodgy people in the pictures, but 90% of the people in the pictures are like, ex-servicemen in the uniform with the medals on.
Yeah. The thing you saw in London today, where they put that barricade up, and there was all the people reaching over and hitting the police and stuff. And then if you just move the camera to the left, and there's literally hundreds and hundreds of people stood around doing nothing. Just watching, and it's very similar to last week. We didn't. There was a lot of peaceful protests last week. A lot. Like Liverpool today, but all we saw was the worst of it. And it's really fucking annoying, man.
I posted it earlier. Sorry, Graham.
No, you're all right. You're all right.
I posted it earlier on my Facebook feed, right? And it was a cartoon picture, and the top picture was a police officer with a shield, holding the shield, and a man running towards him with a brick. And then the bottom picture was a picture of a photographer next to a BBC reporter, and it said, "Wait until he throws the brick and he runs at him before you take the photo." And it's how you post the narrative.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
The narrative is more important to selling the news than what's actually occurring.
Yeah, I think today they would have taken a picture. They would have showed the picture of the brick being thrown, but last week they would have shown the run after the brick. They would have shown the police reaction more, and I think that's been highlighted by two things really badly. And I think there was that comedian Constantine something did an amazing thread on Twitter about it. The guy that does trigonometry. But the BBC last week said largely peaceful protests, 27 officers injured. And everyone, it was like this weird. I don't even think it's a red pill anymore. It's like some crazy purple pill. That it's just sending people west. Because people have been watching the footage all day, and they're like, "This is fucking insane. Are you mental?" Largely peaceful. We've seen, but then we've got the same today though, and there's no word of peaceful. And I think that's the issue that people are going to have, because the same thing happened today, happened last week. The same thing. And
is it on the weekends only?
To be honest, I think it was. I think it was worse last week than what it was this week.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was. It was definitely worse last week. It was. But I think part of that was the police had been. The police were standing down a lot more last week and letting it carry on.
Let's be fair,
this week,
Graham,
they were on it this week.
After what had happened with George Floyd, right? If the police had shown any sign of aggression towards any of the Black Lives Matter people, that would have just exacerbated things, to be fair.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we're playing last week.
They're walking the line, man, because there was a video that came out from Miami where the police are just like accompanying protesters, and then a kid hits a car with a skateboard. The the cops jump out. Then another kid hits them with the skateboard, and they're tackling people. It's fucking melee. And then if you read the comments, people are confused. They're like, who hit who? What happened? Like, it's like everyone wants to be mad at somebody, but like in that video, it's escalating so fucking quickly, man. Like,
yeah, and you know why? Because we've been locked down for
crazy.
3 months. That's the thing. We've all been fucking locked. It's literally just an excuse at the moment. Peaceful or angry protests.
We can see the race baiting, though. We can see the race baiting from either side.
Yeah, but even if Floyd hadn't been killed, everyone would be doing the same thing anyway. You can't.
But you've got to ask yourself this question: what if it was going to be such a big issue? Why was it on the internet for so long? And why was it showed on every single channel? And why did everyone get hold of it? Because you've got to admit, censorship on top of everything, censorship is ridiculous.
Oh, we do have selective censorship though, because that's exactly the sort of thing that would have got Hayden and shit on LiveLeak. You know, like if LiveLeak had it up without it being, you know, like that LiveLeak get in trouble when people post actual clips from CNN. LiveLeak get in trouble for actually posting
you're talking about different independent people that had just come online that have been posting this, so it's got passed about the internet, right? People that don't have any personal sort of like being able to be connected to the video where they can be switched off because of it. It was posted that often across the web. Okay,
and it should be. People,
you know what I'm saying?
People need to know. Of course.
They do.
Of course people need to know, but I'm saying if it was something that bad that people that Google or internet did not want you to see, they would have took it off. However, it's been on every platform.
There's a few sites out there where you can go and see anything you want.
Yeah, but
not on YouTube you can't. Not on YouTube you can't.
We ain't talking YouTube.
But I think the issue is though that, like, you know, Twitter has removed things that are way less extreme. You know, like Project Veritas, like doing their hidden camera stuff, most of which gets proved right further down the line. You know, it's funny, isn't it? Because I agree with Steve.
Graham, just one thing. If you were censoring YouTube, okay, and you saw this George Floyd thing was going to be a massive thing, and you thought, oh my God, we need to censor this straight away because we've censored so many things before they even go out. Would you have thought, oh, hold on a minute, I've got to censor this right now because things are going to get out of control and go to riots?
Yeah, I think going off YouTube's usual argument and Facebook's, the usual shit that they trot out about inciting hate and division, then yeah, if they'd have actually stuck to their usual codes of their usual standards, then they would not have allowed the George Floyd video to be shared. They've taken down way less. That is a video of a man being murdered. They've taken down stuff that's way less problematic, way less. You know, they took down
there must be a gender to it.
Use the word packy. You know, like
I got a 2-week ban off Facebook for posting a joke on my mate's feed because he was saying to me and a bunch of the lads that his wife said, you need to shut up and not talk as much. And I posted a picture from, what was the film? It was Bruce Willis in Pulp Fiction with a gag in his mouth. And I got a 2-week ban off Facebook.
No, that was Marcellus Wallace, the other actor with the guy.
Yeah. I know what you mean. Yeah.
I got a 2-week ban for that.
Yeah. So that's my point. If they're banning you for that, then George Floyd.
You would not see George Floyd being killed unless they wanted you to.
No, see, the thing is, PB, there isn't some giant robot that's like, I'll control the video. The fucking video is going to get out. That's the way the world works. And it's out there. People fucking see it, and that's when it becomes serious. There's so many cop shootings where, like, people slow it down, and you're like, there you go. The guy has a gun, and he's turning towards the cop, and then they shoot him like 51 times. But he has the gun. there's no outcry because that is a threat to the cops' life. This video was absolutely horrendous.
I've
Yeah.
got
Exactly.
no argument.
And if
I've
it
got
was that much of a threat, they would have shut it down straight away. To be honest, I think it's been an incendiary device. It's been something that's been put there.
PB, who is they? Who is they?
infuse.
Who's going to control it? There's too many fingers getting in on the fucking thing that are going to pull it out and get it into the media.
All I'm saying is,
Once
back in
it's out
Silicon
here,
Valley,
it's here forever. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, like back in Silicon Valley, if they look at a video and they don't like it, they can stop it straight away. With this one, what they've done is they've let it get out there, they've let it be posted internationally, they've let all of these protests go, right? What they've done is they've let this go run riot. Do you not agree with that a little bit?
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, as I would say to Smokesteve, I was absolutely hammered on fucking Friday night because I knew this was not going to be a good week for me because my wife's birthday and she passed away at Christmas. And I ended up...
Sorry, Chris.
It's all right. I ended up... I think Smokesteve will probably know him, but do you know Ted Nugent?
Of course.
I ended up on Ted's campfire feed live. In the US, it's probably still on his website. And he was talking about the stuff that's going on in America at the moment, and not just like he had this guy on, lovely guy, right? I couldn't believe it, what this guy had gone through. His mum was Mexican. His dad was from America. But his dad could not bring him and his mum to America. And they ended up sneaking over the border, applying for citizenship. And
go ahead, sorry.
He'd been in America for 10 years. You know, he was eight when he went over. He'd been in America for 10 years before he got citizenship. And he got citizenship just before he was, I think he said he was just leaving high school, going to college. And then 9/11 happened. And he went off and fought for his country. And he got injured. He got injured badly. And I could not believe what he'd been through. For, you know, and the way people were treating him was outrageous. You know, because he wasn't born in America, and I just thought, you know, that's wrong.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. It is. There's so many sides to the story that people forget that people come here that are good, hardworking people and that are legitimately going to contribute to the country, and that, like, sometimes this narrative that they're all bad can really screw up the good ones, you know? So, yeah, they can have a very challenging route to the whole thing. It's crazy, you know? Like you say, with the family members, it's a lot of bullshit for them. But they're also trying to obviously protect what they think to be some sort of a privilege, I guess, right? I mean, to become a British citizen would certainly be a privilege. I imagine it must take a long time. No?
Well, it's a bit weird, right? People can come over here. If I was to say, like, for example, if I was to disappear off to Thailand, marry someone, come back here, the chances of me bringing someone back, very, very slim. Unless I have a load of money in my bank account, that's not going to happen.
Right.
But if you decided to come across on a boat from, say, France or wherever and land on the shore, you've got a higher probability of actually getting citizenship than if you married someone and brought someone back and you were actually a British citizen in the first place. It's just... You there? I guess it's just me.
Sorry about that.
It's all right.
I filmed my cooler because somebody said Smokesteve has a cooler. And of course, I pulled the wire out. I don't know what the fuck I did, but I do. I have a cooler tonight because I bought a laptop. I can't walk back and forth getting beers. So I'm like, fuck it. I'll fill the cooler with beer and ice, and I'm rocking and rolling.
Nick, I was on Nick's feed before I came on here, and he was laughing at me because on my wife's birthday, I got absolutely hammered. I went online and bought a load of instruments that I don't actually need, but I went, you know what? I've not played a cello since I was like 9. I'm going to buy a cello. I've not played that. I play a bass. I'm going to get that. And in the end, foolishly, I bought an Ovation. I think it was an Ovation Classic or Ovation. It was
Bass?
no,
Bass?
actual guitar. I
have an Ovation. It's gray. It's like plastic, but I like playing live, standing up with it with the strap. But when you sit down, the fucking thing slides off your lap because the back is rounded.
Well, that's what my mate said. So I bought this Ovation, and it arrived today. I've got it in the other room, and I bought a tuner because I thought, right, I can ear tune a bass, but I can't do a guitar.
Yeah. No. Well, I mean, you have perfect pitch. You can find an E or an A note right out of the air.
Well, it arrived this morning. I clipped the tuner on the side, and then I looked at the back of the guitar, and it's got a little screen on, and you just press a button on the side of the guitar, and it tells you what note you're playing. You don't need the tuner.
That's cool. Built-in.
Wasting money.
That's awesome. I like that. Yeah, that's more electronics. I like that. I mean, I'm a little more grassroots when I tune mine. I'll go on a site called Guitar Tuner by Fender, and that'll play an A note, and I'll match the note to my guitar and just tune it that way, the old school way. And then, of course, you play a chord and your intonation is a little fucked up. So then you have to like tweak it, unless you have a guitar with decent intonation where you can tune it perfectly. Most of the time I find you're tuning it with the whatever you're using, the device, and then you're going to kind of fine tune it by your ear, because your ear always finishes it perfectly, you know? Like, especially an open G chord, you know, just you're like, gotta have that shit perfect or it sounds like fucking mud, you know what I mean?
Well, that's what I was laughing with Nick. I bought that cello. The cello arrived, and I went, oh, I've not played a cello in years. And I tuned it up, and I played it, and I went, oh, that sounded all right. And I left it in the front room. And then the next day I come back, and all the pegs have moved, and Nick went, you do know a brand new one, you've got to get the peg oil and sort the pegs out or else they'll move. And I was like going, no.
Yeah, interesting. That's classic.
So was Hayden tonight?
I think they're probably not going to be doing the Saturday shows anymore. So I might be trying to pull it together here, and it'd be great if more people came on, like Happy Dog or Greg's V or Greg Topple or Gransby or whoever. I think Gransby thinks I'm a bell end, which is fine. I don't really give a fuck. But you know, we need people on here to keep the shit rolling, you know. But it's all good. If it comes down to it, and I have to split for like 20 minutes or so, which I'm going to have to because I always read books to my kid before she goes to bed. We read them together. If it's kind of stark in the chat here, I'll probably just have to end the broadcast. Now, I don't want to put like an ultimatum on it, but I don't want to also just leave.
No, man.
You know?
You can't. Right. You will never, ever get those days back. So if you need to spend time with your children, you spend time with your children. Fuck everyone else. Pardoning my language.
No, it's fine. But if like Alex was here or Hayden or even Graham, but Graham seemed to hear something. He went into like Navy SEAL mode. He was like, "What did I hear?" And he fucking gone, dude. He fucking ran. It was crazy. So understand, I have a child also. I know how it is. So, but if any of the OGs or any of the new Gs want to come on, like, come on. But it's all good.
What state you in anyway?
Massachusetts, man. It's a decent state. We call it Taxachusetts because it is a highly taxed state. They have a good 10% on above the federal government on your paycheck. So, like Florida has no income tax. So it's just the federal government, federal tax. Everyone pays that. Say it's like 23, 24%, but in states like mine, it's more like 33 because the state tax on a small percentage. It's
I've never been to Massachusetts. I've been to Florida. I've been to Vegas. Arizona. I've been to Salt Lake, California, but no Massachusetts.
Yeah, it's a cool place. You're not going to have as much. I mean, if you're in Florida, if you're within a mile of the ocean, it's beautiful. Once you start drifting way inland, it gets a little crazy.
You can tell you what. The first year I went to Florida, I left me. My wife was tired and she went to the hotel for a sleep. So I said I'd go out for a drive, and I ended up in somewhere called the Orange Grove Trail. And this was back in the days where when you rented a car, it had a rental plate on. And people were coming out of houses like that. And I was going, you know what? I'm going to go back to the hotel.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you just know when you're there. It's not a place to be, you know?
No, I've been there. I've been to various places where I remember going to LA, and we stopped in a hotel called the what was it? The Los Angeles. It was on the interstate, just near the Getty Center, and
Nice.
I went for a walk, and it's okay if you go up a few streets. But then you go up these other streets, and I'm wandering down the street at about 3 a.m. going, oh, this is all right. And this police officer said, where are you going? I went, just going for a walk. And he went, tell you what, get in my squad car. I'll take you back to your hotel. You do not want to be walking down here.
Yeah. Yeah, I've heard stories like that going in all kinds of different directions with people where you go to a place and a cabbie will grab you and say, get in. This isn't the place to be. You know, sometimes there's neighborhoods that are literally like that, regardless of your color, you know? It's just a place you don't want to be. There's parts of Montreal like that where they do not like foreigners. And it isn't any of them. It's all foreigners. They want like fucking just a certain group of Montrealers there to be in their neighborhood, and they are nasty, dude. So it exists everywhere. at some level, I feel like, you know.
This whole thing with I mean, I can understand the whole movement that's going on, the Black Lives Matters.
Yeah.
I agree with it in a way, but why would you judge someone on the pigment of the skin? I mean,
Right.
every life matters. Every life matters.
Of course, including Black lives. So they want, what they're saying in a way, I believe, is that all lives matter, but all they feel like theirs don't, in a way, because there seems to be a higher amount of very publicized bad moves by cops. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, I mean,
dude, when that one fucking thing happens, it's like the whole world. It's just a shockwave.
Only today, there was a guy, I'm not going to name him, he was on my Facebook, and he was quoting details of Rodney King, and I was going, wasn't that a while ago? And then I quoted details of how interactions with police officers and how many people have died. And in the UK, there is a higher percentage of white people who have died, or not just white people, but Asian and various other races before black. You know, and then he went, well, in the US, these are the figures. And I went, well, look at the size of the UK and look at the size of the US.
Right.
You're comparing apples and oranges. It's not the same. And then on the side of it, unfortunately, you've got a healthcare system that doesn't help people. I'm not knocking your healthcare system, though, you know, but
it depends. In my state, in Massachusetts, we have what's called Mass Health. I don't have it. I have private from my company, but Mass Health I did have when I ran my own company, because frankly, it was ridiculous to fucking make a dollar and also cover your own insurance. So you have to like work the system a little bit where you can still qualify for public health, but it's crazy because
I remember
$2,000 maybe for like a good size average family, 2 adults, 2 kids, $1,500, $2,000 a month if it's private.
I remember I went to Las Vegas. I think it was about 11 years ago or 10 years ago. I got tickets for who was it? Elton John and the $1 Million Piano, and I took my missus, and she was in remission from cancer. And when we went out there, she started being sick. And one of the people in the hotel rang an ambulance. It cost us $2,000 for an ambulance to go to. They didn't take us to the normal hospital. They took us to the private hospital because they knew we were foreigners, so we had insurance. So they took us to this private hospital. It was $2,000 to go there. Then it was $4,000 for a bunch of scans, $55 for an aspirin. All in all, I think it worked out just over $12,000 for 5.5 hours. And to say, you know what, you really need to go to the hospital when you go home. And they made us pay it before we actually left. I had to put it on my credit card. I remember the woman going
$2,200 an hour. I mean, that is extreme. And mostly nurses' rates, I'm assuming. What did you see the doctor for, like 5 minutes?
He came in about twice. He came in at the first and asked me wife for about 10 minutes about previous, like what the previous treatments had been and what had gone on. And then he disappeared. And we had nurses in, and then he came in again and just said, "Are you feeling better now?" And this, that, and the other, and nothing really clinical. And then we got this bill, and it was like, and the woman went, "You've got to pay before you leave." And I just went, "There's my credit card, swipe it through." Yeah. And we got it back when we got home. Yeah. But it just thought to me like, Jesus, I mean, we take our NHS system for granted over here. People here just go in a hospital and go, you know, I've got a bone sticking out my arm, and they fix it.
Right. No questions asked. No bills, no nothing, basically.
Well, there is really bills. I mean, when I say a bill, like every time you go to work, every month, you pay a small percentage of your wage as what they call national insurance, and that goes into the NHS. And the basis is like only a certain amount of the population are going to use the service, and some are not. I mean, other people like myself, I've got some private health insurance through my work, but I don't use it unless, say I did an injury to myself and the hospital said, well, we can't fix that for the next 6 months. Well, I can ring up my private insurance and go, right, okay, and they'll get me in a private place and do it. Mm-hmm. But not everyone has that.
Right. So average Craig's V, I'm not hallucinating. Average people can be like, I've fucked my knee up, and they'll say 6 months for that. You need a new knee, but it's 6 months. That's crazy.
Well, my dad, he's what? He's in his 70s now, and he's needed a knee operation for the last 12 months. Well, more than 12 months, 2 years, and he waited. And just before this COVID kicked off, they said, like, we're gonna do your knee operation. And COVID happened, and then they went, we've cancelled it. So he hasn't had that, and he's been waiting. And I can't see him actually getting that operation for a long time now.
Yeah, it's fucked up, man.
It's just not. It is what it is. I mean, people are going to suffer, especially like I've spoke to during this whole thing. I spoke to a lot of the girls. Oh yes, we can't have that over here. That would be very, very illegal.
I know. It's not really. I mean, come on. It's legal medically.
Maybe in a few years over here, but not currently. But I spoke to, during this whole lockdown, like after my wife passed and everything, I spoke to a lot of the girls who were in her cancer group, her breast cancer group, and they've all been shut up in the houses. They've been locked down. They've not had the same chemo treatment that they should have been having. I spoke to, she was in other groups where like they were in terminal groups, like hospice groups, and those people have not been having the same treatments that they should have been having, guys, girls, whatever. And the whole toll of this COVID thing is not just going to be the figures that they stick up online and say this many people died of COVID-19. There is going to be hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people around the world who've died of various cancers that have not had the treatment that they required that would have prolonged their lives because of this illness. And it is actually frankly shocking.
Yeah, I'm not sure I understand the logic in that you would make somebody less healthy. I guess, do they think that exposing them to the virus would be...
Well, yeah.
Like, what's the logic there? How could they...
Over here, what they did was, like, for instance, like the place I live, Liverpool. If you go to Marina Dalglish, it's a big unit, but it's got like a seat, and the person who's having chemo sits in one seat. Then there's the bag that has the chemo medication in between them, and the person who's come with them to chat with them while they have the treatment. And it's repeated all over a room. The government introduced a 2-meter distancing. So instead of having like 50 people in a room, you're suddenly reducing yourself down to like 20 people in a room. And then they couldn't cope with the amount of people who were being treated compared to the space they had. So what they started doing was cancelling treatments, and that's what they've done in every hospital. Follow-up scans and stuff, like, you know, you'd go through your cycle of chemo, and then you'd go for your CT scan, your contrast scan. They cancelled them. So there was people not knowing whether the tumours had got bigger, larger, smaller, whatever.
Of course.
And they got in that situation. And unfortunately, it's gone on and gone on and gone on. And we've got to the point now where even the head oncologist of the UK have said, like, you know, there's going to be a absolute backlash of people dying. Can't argue with that. Absolute backlash of people dying due to not due to COVID, but due to the fact that they didn't receive the treatment that they required during COVID, and it's just wrong.
It is, man. I totally agree.
You need to pick a better beer than Bud Light, though, man.
I know, I've been on it for years. It's pretty much just my go-to. I drink a lot. It's mostly water. I think it's about 4%. That's what they say on the can.
I think the go-to beer when I was in America, I don't even know if they still do it there. I think it's actually made by the company that makes Budweiser, Shock Top.
Yeah, that's, I mean, a beer. Yeah, not for me. I mean, I drink cheap beer. I like cheap women. I drink, you know, vodka. I like good weed. You know, I'm an odd man. Anyways, whatever. You know. Where are we going from here? Anyways.
Have we actually got any viewers, or?
We're at 34. I mean, it's something. So I think people like it. If they want us to bail, let's comments, get the fuck out of here, and I'll end the show. Or if they want us to keep going, I'll go. But we need more people, because I know I'm going to be going upstairs soon. That's happens randomly, but I do read books, so I need like a show here. So if Hayden or Graham, or I think Natalie's toast, young Alex, I mean, he said he was going to be around. Oh man, yeah, see, she said it in the comments. Time for books. So that's it. That's the show. My wife ended the show. She'll be mortified. No, seriously though, that's it.
No problem, man. You have a good night. You look after your family and your children.
Oh, wait a second. Hold on. At the last second, Greg Topple comes in to save the day.
Greg.
Who are you? Let me get rid of this.
Edmund's my username, but I'm the Greg in China. I'm the Welsh Greg.
Greg, all right.
I
Interesting.
heard you both fail, mate, so I thought I'd get in there a bit quick, you know.
All right. I mean, should I believe?
Do
Can
you
I
wanna-
trust you guys?
Do you want to drop? Do you want to drop? And I'll stay here and.
No, you guys both stay in. What I'm worrying about is, dude,
We
don't
will-
explain.
We will adapt to British Broadcasting Standard Federation rules. It will be perfectly fine.
Yeah, you know what? I think.
We'll stay in accordance with Ofcom, mate. We'll be fine.
I'll have to adapt me ear to Welsh though, because it's been a while.
Yeah, it's hard to lose the accent. I slow down a bit when I'm speaking to the Chinese, but yeah, it never leaves. It never leaves.
Whereabouts in Wales are you from?
Across the Pontypool, yeah, southeast.
Yeah.
With same village as Joe Calzaghe, the boxer.
I'm used to Abersock or Cardiff, and it just goes in my ear.
30 miles north of Cardiff, 30 miles northwest of Cardiff.
Except I find in Abersock, if you walk in a shop and you're not Welsh and they don't like you, they suddenly speak to speaking Welsh, and you go, I have no idea what you're saying.
Oh, mate, the Welsh speakers hate me more than the English, I'm telling you. I go to North Wales and they blank me because I can't speak the language.
Well, the only thing I know is Araf knew it, and that's because it's written on the road and it means slow down.
Yeah. Welcome, you know. Whoa, what was that? Oh, the door slammed. Yeah, I'm at my friend's house. I stopped at my friend's house last night. He's gone to work. He's got a console here, so I was going to join earlier, but I haven't played a console for ages.
What you've been playing good games or
FIFA? I had to bring up the football skills, you know. Yeah, so I thought I'd join you for a bit. My wife will be up soon, and is my sound okay? I don't have any headphones.
No, you're good. You're good. You're not echoing or anything, so you're fine, man.
It's good. Pretty good.
Good effort, by the way, Smokesteve.
I don't know what to do here. Like, I'm supposed to probably end the broadcast, I think, fellas.
You can end the broadcast, man. You're in charge, dude.
All right. Go read the
You gotta go,
books.
mate. You gotta go. I just thought I'd join. I've been up since 7 a.m. I've been up for 2 hours listening to you, you know, and it's been good. It's been
Cool.
good stuff.
You
All
go.
right,
You go and be with your family, mate.
All right, fellas. Take
Yeah,
care. Thank you, everybody.
Take
Great
care.
show. Love you guys.
All right.
I'll get in a bit early.